And Jaquez Bull back deep. One of the bigger lengths in all of FCS. 12 kickoffs this year, 10 touchbacks. Returns are very rare off of the transfer from NC State. And toe meets football, and we are underway, and this one sails out of the back of the end zone. And ETSU, as expected, will get it 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line, and we will see Tyler Rydell and the ETSU offense to open things up.
Yep, Tyler Rydell, preseason all-conference. He needs to play like that tonight because he's playing against a very, very formidable foe in Furman. They've got a quarterback that wants to win all Southern Conference right now, and by Tyler Huff, we're going to see him a little bit. So big night here for Tyler Rydell, no question.
Yeah, 13-24 a week ago, a touchdown and interception, throwing for 168 yards against the Citadel in that 20-17 loss in the opener for the Southern Conference for ETSU. It is Jacob Sailors, the All-American, back to his right, and they're going to hand it off to Sailors. Sailors trying to bounce to the outside, stretches across the line of scrimmage, but gains maybe a foot or two. Actually, they mark it right back down on the 25, and that is how play will begin here in a very pivotal Southern Conference matchup for both these teams. It's the opener for Furman. For ETSU, it's 1-1 to start the year and 0-1 of the Southern Conference, and their backs are already against the wall mark.
No question about that. Great job by the Banshee, Luke Clark, on that play right there to stop him. But, yeah, that's not good. You need more than a half a yard on 1st down against this great Furman team.
So Rydell in the gun again will take, look, throws left, ball's deflected, and is it intercepted? And it is, they say, intercepted by Furman. I couldn't quite see who came up with it, but the Paladins get a tipped ball at the line of scrimmage and immediately able to intercept the football, and coming in and grabbing it is one of the outside free safeties in Hugh Ryan. The junior out of South Carolina comes up with the turnover, and now the Bucks with a disastrous start here at home.
You know, most of the time, defensive backs can't catch the ball. He made a great catch on that. The tip at the line of scrimmage allowed him to jump in there and catch that ball.
Yeah, hands up by the defensive lineman for Furman. Calls that ball to go into the air, and then Hugh Ryan, the safety, was able to come up with it, and now we see our first look at Tyler Huff. You'll have Dominic Roberto, the big back behind him, in the gun. They're going to turn play action, and Huff's going to try to throw the football. Steps up, he's under a little pressure, and flips it out into the flat and overshoots his man Ryan Miller. Well, that is a connection that was great a week ago, and he had Miller wide open and couldn't connect.
Yeah, that's 78.8% completion percentage by Huff, and that was a little short throw to his All-American wide receiver. So big miss right there, very fortunate for the Buccaneers. Good coverage downfield. But again, Huff used his feet and got an open throw there and made a pretty bad pass on that one.
Yeah, Huff 31 of 40 a week ago, completed his first 12 passes against Clemson, and this one's going to be incomplete, looking outside. Good pressure by the Bucks, as that was short of Joshua Harris, one of the wide receivers out of Noonan, Georgia, and quickly it's 3rd down and 10.
Let me tell you something. The Buccaneers hold them to a field goal attempt right here by Furman. That'd be plus for the Buccaneers after the turnover, way down inside their territory. Big play right here for both teams. East Tennessee State stops Furman. This is huge to allow a field goal attempt. Furman moves to change the score to a touchdown. Momentum's on their side.
So Huff in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers. Miller is into the slot to the right. ETSU bringing a little pressure, throw out into the flat, and it's nearly intercepted. A collision between one of the corners and Miller. They were looking for Miller on the out pattern. It was broken up by the DB and Elijah Hussey. And it'll bring up 4th down and 10, but Hussey's shaken up on the play. I don't think he expected Miller to be in the area, Mark, and when he was, he kind of unexpectedly took a bump maybe against the shoulder.
Yeah, normally Corbin's corner's got the flat there, and he came back and played that ball really, really well. Yeah, sure, I think Elijah pretty much thought he had an interception. So Ryan Miller played pretty good defense to keep them away from intercepting that ball. But looks like Hussey's going to be okay. They need him. He is a stalwart back there in the defensive backfield for the Bucks.
Axel LePro is the normal kicker, but we will not see LePro here on this, what will come out to be about a 44-yard attempt. Looks like Ian Williams to transfer from NC State. They had tried a 54-yarder against North Greenville in the opener. He missed it wide right. Will get his 2nd attempt of the year to try to give Furman an early lead.
Big stop for the Bucks right there, holding them to just a field goal attempt here.
The snap is down. The kick has plenty of leg, and it is good. And so Furman, with an early advantage after the turnover, the Bucks D does a good job to hold. But it's 3-0 Paladins. You're watching Southern Conference football on ESPN+. We welcome you back to Johnson City, Tennessee. A good look at Anaj Carter, who's back to receive the kick of Ian Williams, who just booted through a 44-yard field goal to give Furman an early 3-0 lead. Touchback on the opening kickoff, and a touchback here, as this one will go out of the back of the end zone and maybe even through the uprights. And the ETSU will start where they began the last drive, Mark, at the 25-yard line. A tipped ball after a failed run resulted in a turnover. The interception by the DB, Hugh Ryan, set up the field goal. ETSU's defense did a good job of bowing its back, but not the ideal start for the Bucks.
Yeah, no question about that. But let's give Billy Taylor, the defensive coordinator for Bucks. He does a fantastic job for them. He's the dean of defensive coordinators in the Southern Conference. Did a good job to hold Furman to only a field goal. So that's kind of a plus right now. But the Buccaneers need to move the chains right now, Robert.
Rydell, who was just picked off for the third time this year, steps and is under a little pressure. Now wants to throw the ball down the field. Has a nice Carter wide open. Carter with blazing speed down the near sideline. Just one play later, able to take the lead on what's a 675-yard touchdown pass to Anaj Carter.
Great job by Tyler Rydell staying in the pocket and waiting for Enosh to get open down there, but he was wide open. Looked like a wheel route there as far as that goes. I've been waiting for Enosh Carter to do something for them. He hadn't done a whole lot in the first two games, but he is quick and got down the field real good. Great pass, great throw, great catch.
And Tyler Rydell able to hook up with the Savannah State transfer for his biggest play in a Buck uniform. At ETSU, just a play after the turnover by Rydell, is able to get a 75-yard touchdown pass. And now Keltner's kick is up and through. And just like that, the field goal by Furman, the touchback, and one play later, the Bucks are now in front, 7-3. Timeout on the field. ETSU now in front. A lot of fireworks early on here in Johnson City. Back to Johnson City, Tennessee. A lot of fireworks early. An interception by Tyler Rydell leads to a field goal. And then this mark, a 75-yard score to Anaj Carter.
Yeah, great job by Rydell. I mentioned earlier, getting his feet in position to throw that ball. He made a couple moves not to get sacked. Pretty good protection, but Enosh Carter looked like he ran a little wheel route there and was wide open. That's a scary throw sometimes for the quarterback, Robert, when they're that wide open, but Rydell threw the perfect ball, and we've got a 7-3 ball game.
Yeah, back deep to receive Ryan Miller and Wayne Anderson Jr. And this one is a low liner that'll bounce and roll and go all the way into the end zone for a touchback. A little dangerous play by both Miller and Anderson Jr., the deep men for Furman, but the ball will come back out to the 25, and so ETSU, after what will look like a disastrous start, rebounds quite nicely, and now the ETSU defense, which bowed its back and did its job after the turnover, is back out onto the field.
That's right. They'd love to have another 3 and out by Furman's offense, but guess what? Don't count Mr. Huff and Mr. Miller out, because those guys did a real good job in bigger stands and bigger attendance stands last week against Clemson. They're not going to be too nervous about that. Game's early.
Huff's going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off. Nope, they're going to give it on an end around, and picking up good yardage and near a first down is going to be Wayne Anderson Jr. It's his first carry of the year, but on an end around picks up 7. And it'll be second down at 3. So after an 0-for-3 start by Huff, who got off to a great start against Clemson, they hand the ball off on a misdirection play.
I think he had 19 straight completions the last part of the North Greenville game in the first 12 against Clemson. So pretty good job by him. Great ball handling by Tyler Huff on that last little handoff to the running back.
Yeah, Dominic Roberto, big guy. Their leading rusher from the running back spot. Huff's their leading rusher overall. Picks up the first down as he gets across the 35 and up to the 38-yard line. So first down and 10 after the first down of the ball game for the Paladins. And Huff quickly is going to keep the ball off the right side and will pick up positive yardage before getting out of bounds across the 45 and out at the 47. Run out there by 2 Buck defenders, including Quinn Smith, the corner. And it'll bring up second down and short.
Huff showing his feet right there. He averages 8.5 yards a carry. Does a good job for them running the ball, and he's going to do that a lot tonight. Looks like he's going to have to keep these guys back in this ball game. So
Off another play action. They're going to look out of the flat. That's Miller. Miller's going to pick up first down yardage and then some across midfield and into ETSU territory. He'll get to the 43 at another Furman first down. The one thing that is different about Furman maybe this year than in years past, new offensive coordinator in Justin Roper came from Holy Cross. A little bit different system. They're more upbeat, less option, like traditional option that we've seen in the past out of the Paladins.
Yes, he was a quarterback at both at Oregon and Montana, so we like those quarterbacks calling plays. They normally do a real good job, Robert.
They're going to turn, and that's Roberto straight up the middle. And he is met by the defensive front of ETSU after a gain of 3 to the 40. Well, the defensive front for the Bucks, relatively thin. Max Evans, Timmy Dorsey, Davion Hood got the start tonight. And it was Timmy Dorsey in there on the stop from his nose position for the Bucks.
Yeah, Chandler Martin, the linebacker, led the, I guess it set the school record for tackles last week against Citadel.
And an out pattern caught and a first down at the 30-yard line as they were able to find Kendall Dean, the graduate student, and transfer from James Madison. And it's first down for Furman, and they're going quickly again.
Looks like Furman settled down here and they've got their offense going now. Justin Roper's going a good job calling plays, and it's going to be tough for the Bucks to stop them. They'd love to get another field goal attempt out of this, I promise you.
Off play action and wants to throw on 1st and 10. Under some pressure now, is going to be wrapped up and sacked. Jalen Porter, the ball came out. The question is, did it come out on the sack? And they're going to say it did. Buccaneer football.
Big break for the Bucks right there. Huff didn't see those guys attacking. He moved out to his right.
And Timmy Dorsey's the one who comes up with it. I think Jalen Porter coming in from behind might have jarred the football loose, and Dorsey's able to pick it up at a turnover for the Bucks.
Big play. I thought before this game that the Bucks would need at least 3 turnovers to have a chance to win this game. There's one of them, but again, a good job by the defensive front. That was a coverage sack right there, Robert. The secondary did a good job covering Miller and gang, and that was basically a cover sack and, of course, fumble recovery.
So ETSU will get the football after the turnover at their own 34-yard line. But Jalen Porter, who came into the ball game with numbers that you wouldn't expect out of an all-conference performer, 4 tackles on the year with just a half a tackle or a half a sack. Gets a sack there and forces a fumble. That's what you've come to expect out of the all-conference performer. And here we take another look, and the ball came out before the knee hit the ground. You see Huff come to the ground without the football. And so ETSU will get it. 1st and 10 at their own 34, leading 7-3. And they're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off. That's going to be Sailors. Sailors big hole across the 40 and 45. A Buck first down out to the 48. And that's what that big play down the field will allow you to do. It gets your All-American involved in that tailback spot.
Yes, and he will get those yards. Listen, the Buccaneers are, I think, 19-1 when they score 30-plus points, and they're going to need every bit of them tonight. Looks like they may be able to get that.
Noah West on a little out. I think didn't gain a yard. It'll be a completion, but nothing else for Tyler Rydell at ETSU. It'll bring up second down and 10. Good pursuit from that Furman defensive front. Both these teams a little bit different than a year ago. We talked about Roper wanting to go with up-tempo. Adam Neugebauer is the exact same way. More tempo, more passing than we've seen in recent years out of the ETSU team.
No question about it. It also doesn't help that Quay Holmes, their all-time leading rusher, is gone. Of course, Jacob Sailor's been here the whole time, too.
They're going to set up a screen, and it's going to be Sailors wrapped up in a loss of a couple of yards, and coming in and making a nice play defensively for the Furman Paladins is Bryce McCormick, one of the inside linebackers, one of the backups. The one thing that Furman will do, we were told before the game, they will go well off of their 2-deep defensively, and McCormick's not even on the 2-deep and was able to come in and make the tackle.
He did a great job of reading that. He's been coached real well, and he did a real by Dwayne Vaughn, their defensive coordinator, but Bryce was right there to make a very good play for the Paladins.
So 3rd down and a long 13. 5 wide receivers set with Sailors to the right. And it's going to be Rydell who's going to step up, and he's got room to run, and across the 40 and into the Furman Paladin territory at the 39. He has a first down and a gain of 16.
I think Tyler Rydell said, you know, we've heard a lot about Tyler Huff. Well, there's a Tyler Rydell out on the field right now, too, again, who's preseason All-Southern Conference. He wants to get in that game. Great job of reading that open seam right up the middle of the field. Phenomenal job by him. Good slide at the end, too.
Yeah, everybody vacated the middle, and Rydell said, why not? It's an easy 16 yards and a first down for the Bucks.
Big play for the Bucks right there.
Rydell with an offset to the right. That's Frierson, one of the backup tight ends, to the right of Tyler Rydell in the shotgun. And they're going to turn. They're going to hand it off to Sailors. Sailors trying to bounce it to the outside. It does. Has good yardage across the 35. And here another first down at the 28-yard line. So Sailors already with a good start offensively. Looks like he's got 24 yards, maybe call it 25 on 3 carries now. And another Buccaneer first down. And ETSU, after a horrendous start, has looked like the more aggressive team so far in the game.
Phenomenal job by the Bucks right now.
They're going to turn it again. They're going to hand it off. No play action. They're going to throw the ball, and it's caught inside Furman territory at the 15. Fighting for yardage all the way down inside the 10 is going to be Will Huzzy. We talked about him off the top, and Huzzy was able to come up and make a big play there, and the Bucks are at first and goal inside the Furman 10.
You've got to be a tough football player to make a catch over the middle like that. With Travis Blackshear, all-conference safety right there in front of you. But Huzzy's been doing that since he came on campus. A good throw by the quarterback, too. Again, Tyler Rydell looks like he's up for the challenge tonight.
Gain of 20 to Huzzy, and it's first down and goal at the 8-yard line. Rydell in the shotgun again, more like a pistol formation. They'll turn and hand it off to Sailors. Sailors trying to stretch it to the outside and tripped up and lost a yard. Had he been able to skip the tackle of the Furman defender, he would have maybe walked into the end zone.
Great job by Travis Blackshear. They're all, like I said, all Southern Conference safety. Great job by him right there, saving a touchdown. Right. Furman wants to hold East Tennessee State to a field goal now.
Yeah,
the Bucks need to score touchdowns in the red zones, not like they did not do last week against Citadel.
Loss of a yard. Second down and goal at the 9. They're going to pitch it out. Sailors trying to get to the outside, lowers his shoulder, might have gotten the yard back. And now to be third down and goal from the 8-yard line. So ETSU a week ago inside territory against the Citadel in their opening drive. Ran the ball 3 times and then threw it from the 1-inch line. They are trying to run it in here, but to very little success. Against the Furman front that, let's just be honest, has played very well through the first couple of games, even against Clemson. They play a lot of guys so they stay fresh. But ETSU looking for a very quick second score here in the opening quarter as we roll near 6 minutes and 20 seconds to play.
They've got Blackshear out here on Huzzy. All conference against all conference. See what happens.
They're going to throw the ball across the middle, and Inaj Carter had the ball popped up and intercepted by Furman. And there's going to be a flag, and that's going to be a targeting call against, you would think, the Paladins. The ball was popped up as it was intended for Inaj Carter. But Carter took a shot to what looked like the upper region around his head or maybe the shoulder pads. We'll have to take a look. The flag came out, and you would think that that's going to be targeting against the Paladins.
That was a big hit. Yes, that's why I said, woo, forgive me, fans, but that was a hit right there. So, yeah, that's got to be targeting. I don't think there's any question about that.
And we'll hear from the head official, the head referee tonight.
Before the change of possession, personal foul, targeting, number 3 of the defense. This play will be under further review.
Now they called it on Cam Brinson as we take another look. The ball across the middle, and that was a shot. Looked maybe like it was toward
more with the shoulder.
More with the shoulder and just under the chin strap. So this could be one that gets overturned. I mean, that is a very close call. We'll have to wait and see whether it's considered targeting or not.
Enosh Carter is not a tall player. He's only, I think, 5'7", 5'8". So that'd be a tough call right there. The shoulder led, but Enosh's helmet, his head moved backwards. So it'll be an interesting call here. Big play right now. Big call by the referees to see which way they go on this. Does Furman get the ball? East Tennessee doesn't get a field goal attempt, or does the Bucks get first and goal from down near the goal line?
There's also another option, which is they can pick the flag up for targeting, but keep the flag for a personal foul.
Okay, there you go.
And so we'll see if any of those scenarios played out. From my angle, was a close one. It looks almost like he got him just below the shoulder and just below the helmet area with the shoulder.
But that's more of a look. The helmet, his neck, his head going back. What really did it, I think. But that's a pretty good play by the Cam.
Yeah, I think
that's a tough one.
A good one by Cam Brinson. And we'll have to wait and see what the officiating crew. Just
my guess would be
Bruce
personal
Alston.
foul, Robert. What do you think? Would you go with personal foul? I don't know.
We'll find out what Bruce Alston has to say as he is talking to the group upstairs. Furman thinks they have their second turnover forced in the game, and a big one it would be. Talk about the defenses. We've talked about the offenses, but Furman's defense led to some points. ETSU's kept Furman out of the end zone on a quick change of possession to open the ball game, and then gave ETSU the football back, leading 7-3, and then now we've got Furman's defense making a play.
And another good catch by the defensive back after the tip.
Yeah, the DBs are making some plays. There's no doubt
question
about that.
Those guys are, like I said, mentioned earlier, normally the defensive backs are a guy you go to practice when they first get there, throwing the ball. If they drop it and they run well, they move them to defensive backs. Not the case at Furman.
This is a long conversation.
I understand why it might be. Coach Hendricks is still upset about it. I don't know if they've told him the call yet or not.
They may be figuring out where the football is to be marked after the interception. And if that's the case, that might be the reason why this is taking so long, as they pulled the ETSU offense off the football field. And I think it's going to be Furman football. Now the question is going to be where. ETSU offense is taking a seat as they've been pulled off the field. Looks like the defense is getting set to go, which would tell you that Furman is going to be the beneficiary of the ball being overturned.
After video review, there is no foul for targeting. First down, Furman.
So Furman is the beneficiary. They do get the interception after the deflection off of the hands of Inaj Carter. And so the Bucs, who were driving, give up points on the second interception of the game by Tyler Rydell. Both of them tipped balls, one at the line of scrimmage, and that one in and out of the hands of Inaj Carter.
But a great hit by Cam Brinson, no question about that. He did lead with his shoulder. I'd have to agree with that call.
They're going to hand the ball off to Abrams right side, and Abrams barrels his way across the 5, maybe for a yard or two.
Well, there's been some momentum changes with the turnovers, hasn't it, David? Good gracious. Right when you think Furman's got a handle on it, they turn it over. East Tennessee State has turned it over twice and still leading the ball game. So crazy start to a football game tonight.
This has been a little odd. We haven't seen the football hit the ground out of the hands of Tyler Rydell, but two of them have been caught by Furman defenders. As they're going to hand the ball off again, that is Abrams' right side, and I don't think he gained much more, maybe another foot or two, up to the 7. It's going to be third down and long. Just
Big
trying to maybe
right
get some yardage for a manageable third down, but the Bucs defense has been up to the task.
I still have confidence if I'm Coach Roper letting Tyler Huff throw the ball. He can use his feet to get out of trouble too here, so watch for 82.
Yep, Ryan Miller is in motion. And he got started early, and that'll be a false start. I don't know if it was Miller who missed the snap count. Looked like it. He was the only one that moved, or maybe the ball just did not get sent back to Huff, but regardless, it's a penalty.
False start, 82 of the offense. Half the distance to the goal, still third down.
So now it'll back him up. It'll be third down and over 10 to go. Third down and let's call it 11.
I still say you call the same play. You got a quarterback you trust. You see if Billy Taylor dials it up. He likes to bring people at this particular situation in the ball game. But you can't let 82 be out there by himself.
They are going to throw the football out of the end zone, looking out into the flat. Pass is going to be, they're going to say caught. Yes, caught for a first down for Furman at the 32-yard line.
Great throw and catch right there.
What a great throw and a great catch. Coming up with it is Joshua Harris. And on third down and 11, Huff is able to find Harris for a first down, and he did get his left foot inbounds.
Great play by Harris. No question about that. And again, as you mentioned, Robert, phenomenal throw by a great quarterback.
They're going to hand it off, and Abrams tripped up maybe by one of his own offensive linemen, picks up another yard. And so Furman is in the shadow of their own goal line. The big play out to Harris is able to pick up the first down, and now they're thinking about points.
I like that deep throw out of the end zone play before that, Robert. Why not? It's almost like a punt. If it happened to get picked off, it's probably about where you might bring a punt back to anyway. So great call by Justin Roper. Phenomenal throw and catch by Huff and Lewis.
Gain of 28 on that throw. Now Huff's going to throw again, and this one's out of bounds. He was looking for Dean along the far sideline. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
Good coverage by the Bucs secondary.
Huff, who was sharp in the first 2. I mean, I'm talking super sharp.
Holding. 81 of the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Still 2nd down.
So a holding penalty. We didn't see the flag, but a holding penalty right in the middle of the offensive line. Out against the offensive backup tight end in Parks Gissinger. And that'll back him up, make it 2nd down and 20.
As we speak right now, I think they're a little cleaner last week against Clemson.
And they looked really good against the Tigers. They felt like they left points out there. Not that they were going to beat that upper 5 team of the country, but they felt like they played better than the score even indicated. As Huff's going to throw it into the flat, that's Dean, and Dean's going to get across the 25, but a good job by Quinn Smith to make the tackle, and it'll be 3rd down and long now. 3rd down and about 14 yards.
Quinn Smith did a great job on that pass before that, covering the receiver. Huff didn't have anywhere to go to. A good job right there. Here we are again, 3rd and 14. They converted last time. Let's see what happens here.
Huff 3 for 6 early on. 4 for 7 now for 51 yards. 3rd down and 14. And Huff's going to drop back. He wants to run. He's going to step up, try to get to the outside, cuts it back across the 35, but it'll be chopped down short of the 1st down at the 37-yard line, and you would think that would bring out the punting unit for the Paladins.
Great job again by Quinn Smith. We've called his name 3 plays in a row, 2 passes and 1 run right there. So good job by the Buck defense holding this potent Furman offense. Of course, the penalties hurt them. You know, that's the kind of thing that can hurt you when you have the holding penalties and the offside. But again, the Bucs need to take advantage of that break, but they're doing a pretty good job on defense, again, led by their coordinator, Billy Taylor.
And here's a line drive punt spiraling back that'll drive Huzzy to his 10. Backs up to the 9 and the 8. Now looking for some room, and will be chopped down at the 11, maybe the 12-yard line. So a return of just a couple and a big punt from the Paladins of Furman. And with 2:31 to go here in the opening quarter of play, ETSU has a 7-3 lead here on ESPN+. Series history between these two Southern Conference rivals. It's the 18th all-time meeting here in Johnson City. Last time was in the spring of 21. A last-second win by Furman. Furman leads the all-time series 27-9, and this has been a tight one. The last 4 series, Mark, have been decided by a combined 17 points. That's pretty impressive.
Looks like it may be something similar to that tonight. Crazy start to this game. Just a weird start. Turnovers and a couple crazy plays.
Tyler Rydell in the shotgun wants to play action and throw the ball out of the flat. He hits Frierson. Frierson's immediately wrapped up after a gain of 2. Good strong tackle by one of the backup safeties, Jack Rhodes. And the 2nd down and 8. I will say this, it is tough to prepare for the Paladins defensively because they throw so many bodies across the board. You're used to rotating defensive linemen, maybe some linebackers occasionally, but they rotate safeties and corners all the time as well.
Yeah, and they're all conference safeties not out there right now, Travis Blackshear. But Rhodes did a good job right there covering the flat with the tight end. 2nd
down and 8. We roll under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Bucks leading 7-3. Tyler Rydell. They're going to hand the ball off. That's Sailors bouncing it to the outside. Sailors good room and across the 1st down mark and up to the 24-yard line. Now at a gain of 10. And the Bucks have a 1st down on the legs of Jacob Sailors, who now has 35 yards on 6 carries. He is carrying it very well.
Yeah, he's about his average, about 6.8. He does a fantastic job. You know, he's the preseason all-conference player of the year.
And rightfully so. They're going to hand him the football again. Sailors trying to get to the outside again. It does. Spins across the 30 and out to the 32 before he's finally wrapped up by Day 1 Wilkins, one of the backup safeties in the ball game. In fact, they are rotating those safeties. Jack Rhodes and Wilkins, the 2 right now, not the normal starters. And Ryan, who had the interception, and Cam Brinson, who caused the 2nd interception at the goal line on the previous drive for the Bucks. So ETSU moving again. It's second down and call it 8. And again, they're going to turn and hand it off to Sailors, and Sailors lowers his shoulder near the first down, and I think he's going to get it based on the spot at the 34. Sailors now at 45 yards on 8 carries. He had a big game last weekend where he went over 180. He is one of the all-time leading rushers for ETSU in the school's history. We'll talk about that as we go throughout. Some numbers to keep an eye on, but he's the workhorse right now as ETSU will make a change there. It's Bryson Irby into the ball game to spell Jacob Sailors. They're going to turn and hand the ball off to Irby, and Irby lowers his shoulder for a yard as he gets to the 35 before he's spilled by the defensive front for the Paladins. And that'll be the end of quarter number 1. Well, it was a quarter in which we saw a little bit of everything. Some highlight reel offensive plays,
That's the
some
end of the first
turnovers,
quarter.
and all of that ends with ETSU leading 7-3 as we take a look at some of the fans heading out to break here from Johnson City. At the end of the first quarter, ETSU has a 7-3 lead of the football, facing second down and 8 at their own 36-yard line. Bucks with a 4-point lead, but looking for a little bit more, and probably could have been more earlier in the ball game, but Furman's defense has been good. As they throw down to the flat, that's Sailors, and Sailors spins his way across the 40 and makes it third down and short as he gets to the 42. Jacob Sailor's been a big part of this game plan, not only today but all year long. They featured him early in the win against Mars Hill. He was big late, unfortunately, in the loss against the Citadel. And he's factoring in big here on third down and short. Here go the Bucks. They'll turn and hand the ball to Sailors, and Sailors, I think, has the first down, but they're going to say the ball came out. Furman is saying, hey, there's a fumble. They came out of there with a football, but no one is saying fumble. The officials now waving their hands. What's the rule? They gave him the spot good enough for a first down. Furman came out of there with the football claiming they have it, and the head official, the head referee says yes they do. That took forever to figure out whether the ball was on the ground or not. Take another look. Sailors, who doesn't fumble much, had the ball pop out. Yep, it is out and down before he was on the ground, and so Furman forces yet another turnover. That is already the third turnover of the ball game for ETSU.
I can't believe they have a 7-3 lead with 3 turnovers. Of course, they might give up some points right here, Robert. But, yeah, that's nothing like Jacob Sailors. He got hit by a helmet right on the football, and sometimes that happens to even the best of them.
Yeah, Sailors usually pretty secure with the football. Had some fumbling issues in his sophomore year, but has cleaned those up until right there. The first down and 10 in ETSU territory for Furman, and here's Huff. And he'll hand it off to Roberto, and he'll rumble for first down yardage and a lot more across the 30 and down to the 26-yard line. A big gain for Roberto of close to 19 yards, and Furman is on the move.
Great job by the offensive line up front there. They've got 2 all-conference tackles. Anderson Tomlin and Pearson Toomey, who did a good job right there for Roberto. Big play for the Paladins, excuse me.
Huff in the guns, takes a snap, wants to throw, looking deep, trying to throw on Smith, and the ball is going to be incomplete. No flags. They're going to say clean play, and it'll be second down and 10. So Smith on the coverage. While Smith is good in coverage, not the biggest of corners, he's listed at a generous 5'9". Coming off a knee injury, that's why you see the brace on the right knee, but he has been playing very good on that outside corner, the nickel back the last several years. Now pressed into starting duty.
He's played a heck of a ball game so far. Good job.
He turned around and looked. The ball was a little underthrown and maybe got away with one there. They're going to hand the ball off right side, and I believe that's Roberto, and he gets not much of anything. And it is Roberto's. He was met on the play by the leading tackler for the Bucks, and Chandler Martin. We called his name a bunch last week.
Yep.
Down in Charleston, South Carolina against the Citadel, a program record 23 tackles for that man right there in Chandler Martin, and now it'll be third down and long.
Big third down for the Buck defense right here. They played a pretty good ball game so far, but this would be huge for them to make a stop. It would
Furman
force a very long field goal by Furman, unless Furman gets
1 for 3 on third down. They're going to throw it out of the flat. That's going to be to Dean, and Dean's wrapped up after a gain of a couple down to the 25. So on 3rd and 10, they pick up 2. And that'll bring out the field goal unit. And again, it'll bring up Ian Williams. Williams hit a 44-yarder earlier. He's 1 for 2 on the year, and he'll have another chance. This one looks like from about 43.
He's a big kicker, 6'3", 225 out of Charlotte.
A transfer from NC State with a big leg. They like him on kickoffs and in situations like this. And so the snap is down. The kick is on the way. It is up, and it is good. And so Furman taking a couple of turnovers from ETSU, turning them into a couple of field goals, but Billy Taylor's defense has been up to the task. And ETSU maintains the lead, but now down to 1. It's 7-6 with 12:21 to go in the second quarter. Back after this timeout on ESPN+. Mark Hudson.
Thank you for that, Robert. I appreciate that. I'll get you lunch next time you're in town, brother.
At William B. Green Jr. Stadium. ETSU with a 7-6 lead, a 43-yard field goal, though, by Ian Williams made it a 1-point game. And Osh Carter and Tonquez Ball back deep to receive. The kick of Williams, who's hit 2 of them out of the back of the end zone at this point. And here's another big blast from the right footer. This one actually lands in the end zone, but only 9 yards deep this time. And it'll be another touchback for Furman. And the Bucks will start at their own 25-yard line. ETSU's gone up and down the field, 166 yards of total offense, 101 yards through the air on 6 of 8 from Tyler Rydell. Sailors has 47 yards on 9 carries, but 2 interceptions, both on deflections, one of them going into the end zone, the other to start the ball game from Tyler Rydell. And then the fumble on what was 3rd and short and looked to be a first down from Sailors. Some odd things have happened in this ball game, and that's why we sit at 7-6.
Hard to believe East Tennessee State's winning this game at 7-6 with 3 turnovers very early in the second quarter.
So Rydell into the shotgun. And they're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off. And moving right side was Sailors, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Good pursuit. On time by Luke Clark. Clark kind of plays that hybrid role. Plays down some, plays standing up others. This defense for Furman is more of a 3-3-5 look, even though they list Clark someone who puts his hand on the ground more often than not.
Right, he also covers the short side of the field. You can go out into coverage. He's a pretty good ball player.
Rydell's going to take the snap. Wants to throw pass complete to Wilson for a first down. He stopped right at about the 37. The ball was right on the numbers and right in front of the corner in Micah Robinson. And a good throw from Rydell picks up a first down. When Rydell's had time, Mark, he has been on point. He has been the guy that has a high completion percentage, someone we saw a year ago, really for the entire year for ETSU in that 11-2 campaign.
Yes, did a great job. He's a great game caller. He does a real good job right there. He got sacked 6 times a year ago against Furman. The offensive line looks like they're doing a much better job this year against the Furman Paladins.
And Rydell's going to throw it, looking out right, and he'll just throw it out of bounds. I think he was looking for Huzzy, and a ball might have slipped out of the hands of Rydell, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Buck 38-yard line.
Well, their defensive end,
Quarterback
Jack
was out of the
Barton, did a
pocket.
real good job of not buying the fake on the bootleg. So Tyler, I think, just threw that out of bounds. Very smart play by him right there.
Rydell usually makes good decisions with
Yes.
the football. He has the 2 interceptions tonight. I don't know if either one of them are bad decisions.
Right, a tip ball and that slant was a catchable ball, but a phenomenal job by Cam Lewis disengaging from Enosh Carter.
And a turn, hand it off. That's going to be Sailors, and he's submarined by that defensive front. Alex Mayer, who also plays that bandit position, is at on the stop. It'll bring up 3rd down and a long 9 for the Bucks.
You are right about that. The substitution pattern by Furman is phenomenal.
They just don't get tired up front.
They
with
really
the amount
don't.
of guys they play.
And the confidence they have to have in the backup players is just a nice choice to have.
Well, the Bucks, who are 1 for 3 on 3rd down, will look to the sideline. 12 on the play clock. 10:24 to go in the opening half of play. ETSU leading by a point, 7-6. And Rydell's going to throw for it. Look across the middle, and that one's nearly intercepted. Boy, that hit the hands of one of the defensive linemen for Furman, and it was Xavier Stevens. At 276 pounds, a sophomore out of Roanoke, nearly had a gift.
He'd like to have that one back. So would Tyler Rydell. I'm sure. I guess he didn't see him there, but that might have been a pick six by a defensive lineman from about 30 yards out, because he had the break on that one, didn't he? He'll be thinking about that one all weekend.
So here's Trace Kelly. Kelly averaging 36 yards a kick. Set to put his foot to it to try to flip the field, and he hits a high wobbler. It'll come down and be fair caught at the 23-yard line by Callie Chiswick. First time we've called Chiswick's name tonight. He had a big interception return for a touchdown in the win against North Greenville early in the game. If the name sounds familiar, it's because his dad is the defensive coordinator in the SEC, and that's Gene Chiswick.
That's right, North Carolina. He also has a national championship under his belt.
7-6 score. We're back after this. 7-6 your score as we continue play here in quarter number 2. ETSU's defense has been up to the task, even though the offense has turned it over 3 times. Furman has yet to really get rolling the way they were rolling in any one of their first 2 games against North Greenville or even Clemson for that matter. And Tyler Huff back out there offensively, and he's going to keep it off the right side. Has plenty of room, and Huff's athleticism has been a big part of their success. And Huff's into ETSU territory and down to the 40-yard line.
Well, dual threat, no question about it. And we thought he might beat him with their arm tonight, but looks like he may be using his legs as equal to just a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah, 34-yard jaunt for Huff, and Furman is already back up over the football.
Of course, he had an open lane there. I think I could have got about 10 yards maybe, not the 34.
He's going to look. He's going to throw it out of the flat, and immediate tackle on the reception as Elijah Huzzy was able to wrap up Luke Shiflett. First time we've called Shiflett's name. And it'll bring up second down and long.
Big play by Huzzy.
Yeah, big play by Huff on the run. 34 yards to tote. He now has 48 yards on the ground. And it's second down at 6. They're going to hand it off to Roberto. No, Huff's going to keep it again. And another big gain for Huff as he carries the football inside the ETSU 30 and down to the 25-yard line. A gain of 12. So Huff starting to pull the football out on that read option mark.
Yep, he set it up the first period. So good job by him doing that. Somebody's missing their assignment for the Buck defense. I'm sure Billy Taylor, their coordinator, is making sure that doesn't happen too often. But a great job by Huff. He's going to get you one way or the other.
Well, they'll turn and hand it off to Roberto, and he's wrapped up in the hole. And Huff wants a face mask, not going to get it after a gain of about a yard for Huff. ETSU's linebacking core, while young, has some experience. Steven Scott's a name we haven't talked about much. Obviously, the freshman in Chandler Martin has been active the first 3 weeks of the year. The team's leading tackler coming in at 29. 23 in week 2 against the Citadel. And they're going to be tasked with trying to keep tabs on Tyler Huff, who's had 2 big runs on this drive.
Yes.
And Huff's going to keep it, and he's able to escape one tackle, but not the second. Good job to stay home first by Davis, and then to clean it up's Mike Price. And it'll be third down and 9. They tried to run that keeper just one too many times, and the Bucks were keen to it there.
Yep, they were successful to run it to the right side, and Huff tried to run it to the left side. So a good job making adjustments by the Buck defense. Again, a big third down here. They're going to force a long Williams field goal or confirm and go in here and get 6 points instead of 3.
Bucks are going to bring pressure. Huff's going to step up and fire. Pass is going to be complete, but short of the first down at the 27. The pass is going to be caught by the wide receiver Harris, but he'll be short of the line to gain. And now Furman has a question. Do we take the lead or do we go for it on 4th down?
I think they're going to go for it. It's 4-down territory.
With Huff's dual running ability or dual threat ability, you would think that this would be one where they would do something that gives him an option to either run it or throw it.
Watch that little drag by Ryan Miller. They've thrown it twice. The first time he was wide open and missed it. But I like Miller in the flat or in Huff's hands running the ball. We'll see what happens.
And I think that Clay Hendricks is going to run the clock all the way down, and then he's going to call a timeout. And we'll see whether they decide to go for it out of the timeout or whether they're going to kick it.
First charge, timeout of the half.
But before we find any of that out,
timeout.
Well, we've got confusion whether that is a TV timeout. Now they're going to say that it is. So a full timeout here in Johnson City, Tennessee. 6:42 to go. Furman facing 4th and 2 when we return. 4th and 2 for Furman after the timeout. Big play in this ball game. The Paladins down by a point. They're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off to Roberto. I don't think he got there. We'll have to wait and see. This is going to be very, very close. But I think ETSU has held. They think they've held. The official says they've held. And what a big play and a big shift in momentum in this game. So the Paladins decide not to try to take the lead. Instead, they try to get the 2 yards, and they come up about a yard shy.
I'm surprised they didn't go with a run-pass option with your quarterback, Robert. That's kind of surprising right there. A big stop by the Bucks. They'd love to have about a 6-minute and 30-second drive right now here and score points. But a phenomenal job by the defense so far by East Tennessee State.
Well, here's Tyler Rydell, the first-team all-conference preseason quarterback. He's 7 for 11, 114 yards. And now,
please reset the game clock to 6:38. 6:38 on the game clock, please.
they will add 7 seconds back to the game clock. Get 6 minutes and 38 seconds. As you heard,
thank you.
The head official, Bruce Austin, not only asked for, but also thanked them for. And it'll be Tyler Rydell, the Buck offense, after the turnover on downs from Furman.
What do you know? Polite referee. That's pretty cool.
Rydell's going to take the snap, throw on first down. He's going to look over the middle of the field. This pass is going to be caught. And Carter, double teamed on an underthrow, is able to catch it at the 45. He cut inside not only the safety in Hugh Ryan, but also the corner in Micah Robinson, and a big, big play for Anaj Carter.
That was actually Will Huzzy.
So Huzzy, excuse me, yeah. I apologize. And you shouldn't be able to confuse those two. One's about a foot taller than the other, but Huzzy comes up with his second big catch of the day.
Great throw by Rydell. He threw that underneath. The only person that could catch that ball would have been Huzzy.
And a false start. I believe that's going to be on Austin, the
false
left
start.
tackle.
76 of the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
So it was Austin as we take a look back at the throw out of the end zone from Rydell. Just perfectly undercut the corner and the safety, and Will Huzzy had a gain of 30 on first down of the Bucks, trying to get some points to try to extend on what's just a 1-point lead.
Phenomenal spot throw right there. He threw it to a spot, allowing his receiver to come back and get it.
After the false start, it's first at 15. And Rydell's going to throw it again. And he'll step up and fire. Pass is going to be caught. That is Cam Lewis. First time we've called his name all year. Lewis, the senior out of Atlanta, Georgia. An interesting story. Has a gain of 15 and a first down. He started here at ETSU as a quarterback. Actually played some time at quarterback as you take another look at the reception the first of the season for Lewis. Then transferred out, and now he's back to play wide receiver. Went out and played quarterback at Winston-Salem State. Another full start on ETSU.
76 of the offense.
Wow, what's twice for Blake? 2 times for Blake Austin.
Yeah, so Austin jumps a couple of times. But that Lewis story is interesting. Came here to ETSU as a quarterback, played some. That was under Carl Torbush. When he realized that he wasn't going to get time at quarterback, he transferred out, played quarterback at Winston-Salem State, had some eligibility left, transferred back, and now he's playing wide receiver.
Big target, 6'3", 221. Adam Neugebauer, their offensive coordinator, is really high on Cam Lewis.
They're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off. That's going to be Sailors, and Sailors picks up 4. So they get back for the 5 yards they lost on the full start. It'll bring up second down and 11 inside Furman territory at the 45-yard line. Where the Bucks are throwing it extremely well. 9 for 13, 159 yards. They do have the 2 interceptions. Again, both of them deflections. But Will Huzzy, a couple of catches, 50 yards. Anaj Carter has 1 for 75. Big plays down the field for the Bucks in the passing game.
Very good job by the offensive line. They've been giving Rydell a bunch of time.
And another pass and another completion to Lewis. That's another first down, or at least close to it. at the Furman 34-yard line. Boy, Lewis has not been thrown to all year. In fact, he doesn't have a target coming into the game, but he's been targeted on 2 of the last 3 plays, and he's come up with big catches.
I'm pretty sure that's going to change the rest of the season. He's such a big target. Give Tyler Rydell credit. He's playing like the all preseason Southern Conference quarterback right now. He is welcoming this challenge and really doing a good job.
Gain of 11 officially on that throw. First down at 10 at the Furman 34-yard line. ETSU making sure they're in the right set with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go. They're going to flip it out to Sailors. Sailors trying to get some room. Does across the 30, but a good open field tackle from Furman. And one of their backers in Braden Gilby, excuse me. Gilby came in with 8 tackles, a senior out of St. Petersburg, Florida. They'll bring up second down and call it 4 yards to go. Bucks going quick.
That could have been a lot worse for the Paladins. Good job by Gilby.
Rydell under some pressure is going to step and throw it out of bounds.
That's coverage right there. Good job by the Furman secondary. He had nowhere to go with it. Smart play, throwing that ball out of bounds and going to the next play by Tyler Rydell. Good coverage by the Furman. Again, their secondary is doing a pretty good job on that particular play right there.
Mark, this has been the part of the field where both defenses have just kind of shut things down. Outside of the long touchdown play to Adash Carter, nobody has gotten to the end zone. Even though they've been close, the defenses have been shutting the door.
Yeah, they've been
shutting
it prior to the red zone. It's kind of like the 30 or 35, 25-yard line instead of inside the red zone and forcing long field goals, especially the Buck defense.
Here's Tyler Rydell under some pressure. He's going to step up, throw the ball up and out of bounds. He was looking for Huzzy, but nowhere to go. He didn't have time to set his feet and make a throw. And that'll bring up 3rd or 4th down, and more than likely Tyler Keltner. And Keltner, one of the more accomplished kickers in the Southern Conference.
East Tennessee State wasn't ready for that. Furman finally brought a blitz. They hadn't blitzed too much tonight, and they came after Rydell. Pretty good play there. A screen or a quick slant might have hurt them right there, but a good job by the Furman defense, led by their defensive coordinator, Dwayne Vaughn, coming after Rydell. He's been hurting most of the game.
45-yarder from the right hash now from Keltner. Snap in the hold. The kick is on the way, and it is twisting. I don't think he made it. Missed it wide to the left. Keltner had plenty of leg, but pulled it left. And Furman keeps it a 1-point game. It's now 7-6 as we continue to fight it out of the Southern Conference opener for the Paladins. ETSU trying to get back to 1-1 in the SoCon. Neither team really able to grab this game by the throat. It's 7-6, Bucks with a 1-point lead. And Furman will get the football back, and they'll hand it off immediately to a stumbling Abrams, who gains nothing, and it'll be second down and 10. ETSU in the ballgame, 246 yards of total offense, but just 7 points. They have 3 turnovers. Furman 165 yards of total offense. They don't have a turnover, but they've had to kick 2 field goals and went for it on 4th down and didn't get it. Up will take a 2nd and 10 snap, throw over the middle, pass caught. That'll be close to a first down. Joshua Harris, the sophomore out of Newton, Georgia's been active in this ballgame, had 6 catches coming in. And Harris now with his 3rd catch there on another Furman first down.
Furman's got plenty of time with 2 timeouts left, but I think they're going to have to go to the pass here and not run it too often.
They're going to play action, and Huff's going to keep it and running right, and he'll get pushed out of bounds after a gain of 3, maybe 4. Huzzy was over there, but also giving chase was Chandler Martin. You know, the head coach for the Paladins, Clay Hendricks, said they knew they had an athlete in Huff, who actually was a backup at Presbyterian a year ago. Makes 0 sense.
That's 0.
Non-scholarship program. It was an odd offense. Nothing can really be said there, but they were surprised at how athletic he truly was, and are still learning about it. As Huff looks across the middle, and boy, Hope breaks up a pass intended for Wayne Anderson Jr. If Hope had been a step quicker, he might have been able to catch the football to bring up 3rd down.
Great coverage, though. Big 3rd down right here. Bucks stop them. They'll have a chance with probably a little bit under 2 minutes to have themselves a chance to go down and score. They've got 3 timeouts left, so another big play for both teams on this. Furman on offense, the Bucks on defense. Again, I'm anxious to see where Ryan Miller's at. He hadn't done a whole lot this first half. Watch him now.
He's in motion towards the formation. Huff under some pressure. Going to step up, looks, going to throw, pass is going to be caught, but I don't think he got the first down. I think he's about a yard shy.
Wow, do you go for it here, Coach Hendricks? Wow.
At the 48, he needed to get to the 48. He got to the 47 and fell out of bounds, and now it's 4th down and 1 from inside your own territory and a buck down on their side of the field. But boy, now you have a decision if you're Clay Hendricks as to what you're going to do. I mean, there was no doubt. I thought when he caught it, he was short. And he was right at the 47. He is a full yard short of the first down. As you take a look, he just goes down right out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
Big call right here. Coach Hendricks has been a little bit conservative so far. You know, as far as, you know, the field goals or whatever, that 4th down and 1 last time, he went for it, but ran a conservative play. I think he should have not kept the ball out of Huff's hands. Let's see what happens right here. Big play right here. You don't get your first down if you go for it. If I was them, I'd run the clock down if they can. I guess they can after a timeout, and kick this ball away. Looks like they're going to. I noticed that Miller and the rest of the crew is going there. Pretty smart play by Coach Hendricks, I think, here. You can't take this chance.
Steven Scott, the shaken up buck. He'll walk off.
They're going to need him in the second half. They're not very deep at that linebacker, the Buccaneers.
Well, they're certainly not. His backup is Cameron Garnett. And it looks like Furman may punt the football. Bucks need to get in formation here, but
the Buccaneers need to watch them possibly drawing them off.
That was a non-contact issue for Scott, which is not good. We'll see if the Bucks can stay on task, not commit a penalty, and no flag here. And then a shank off the right foot of the Furman punter. That'll go out of bounds up at around the 40-yard line. They call it the 41, right at the 40-yard line exactly. So the Bucks will have really good field position with 1 minute and 50 seconds left to try to extend on a 1-point lead again. Folks, if you're just joining us, this game has made very little to no sense in terms of the way it has played out. We got off to a rocky start. Second play of the ball game was a tipped interception resulting in a field goal by Furman. Then a 75-yard touchdown pass on the very next offensive play by the Bucks. There's been a batted ball in the air in the end zone intercepted by Furman. It has been a little bit of everything.
I think if Coach Hendricks would have known the punt would have been that bad, he might have gone for it.
Rydell's under pressure, is going to step up and throws it out of bounds. He was looking for Huzzy on the far sideline at about the 50.
Good job by Chiswick and Croup. Looks like the Furman secondary is doing a pretty good job on coverage right now against the Bucks receivers.
1:44 to go. Remember, Furman will get the ball to start the second half. They won the toss and deferred their option. ETSU, the number 18 team of the country, off to a rocky first half. But they do have the lead. Somehow, some way they're in front. Rydell takes the snap, looks to throw. Steps up, is going to dump it off that Sailors, but Sailors is going to be wrapped up. Nope, spins out of the tackle initially, and then will lose about a yard. So he did a good job just to get back close to the line of scrimmage. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long. Clock will stop with 1:35 left. Rydell did a good job to getting the ball, and then you see Sailors just fighting to get back towards that original line of scrimmage.
Good rush by Braden Gilby there, right there, forcing Sailors to have to block him. He won that battle. Sailor slipped out and made something out of nothing, actually.
So 4 wide receiver set. We'll see if Furman lights him up here. Bowden showing pressure. They back off, only rushing 4. Rydell's going to step up, trying to get out of the way. There's going to be a hold that'll bring it back. Rydell's going to get the first down as he crosses right at the 50-yard line, but I think the flag will bring it back.
No question about it.
I don't know who it's on, but it's a penalty against the Bucks.
Holding, offense, number 62, 10 yards, repeat, 3rd down.
That's on Joe Schreiber, the all-conference performer at center, and he was able to just drag down one of the defensive linemen who was pressuring right up the gut, so probably a good call.
The Furman pass rush is starting to hit the Buccaneers a little bit. Rydell did a good job escaping that. Of course, he was able to escape it since Schreiber held right there, but this is tough right there. You're going to give Furman the ball back here with, I think, we have 2 timeouts left, so I wonder if they're going to run the ball or throw it. Here, it answers that question.
So here's Sailors trying to get to the outside, and
He needs
he'll
to stay in bounds, but I don't think he did.
And he will. They actually are going to roll the clock, so it'll
good.
be a timeout by Furman.
Timeout. Furman.
Gain of about 4.
Second charge,
Big
timeout
fourth
of the
down.
half. This is the 30-second timeout.
So 1:17 to go, Mark. Fourth down, the Bucks are going to punt the ball away thanks to Trace Kelly. Kelly's had a big leg so far this year. It's been a nice find, but assuming a decent punt, you got 60, 70 yards to go if you're going to be Furman. 1:17 left, and the guy that has wowed everybody in Greenville so far in Tyler Huff. We also haven't called Ryan Miller's name much at all. I mean, it's been, you still have an opportunity here down a point to try to grab the lead going into halftime. It's a big possession because they do get the ball to start the second half.
That's exactly right. What a big turnaround it would be. So it all depends on the punt return here, but they should have plenty of time, I think, with minute 10, minute and 5 left with 2 timeouts, at least to get in field goal position. I'm sure that's what Coach Henderson would like to get. They'd like to see at least get 3 here.
So here's Kelly, gets it away, and end over end. That'll come down to Chiswick at about the 32. Chiswick trying to cut to the outside and does across the 45, and then hit as he got up to the 47. That is the backup safety in Tonquez Ball. And so really good field position if you're Furman at your own 47-yard line with a minute and 5 left and a timeout remaining.
This is a real big momentum change right here. Furman goes in here and scores a touchdown right before half, knowing they get the ball first in the second half. The momentum's got to be on their side. East Tennessee State stops them right here and doesn't even allow a field goal attempt. Advantage Buccaneers at halftime, even though Furman does get it in the third quarter.
So Huff in the shotgun, 4 wide receivers set. Going to step up, look across the middle. Pass is going to be complete to Anderson Jr. deep into ETSU territory down to the 33.
Again, plenty of time with 2 timeouts left. 1 timeout, excuse me.
And 1 timeout left, but now Furman deep in ETSU territory after just a single play. Clock rolling at 50 seconds to go. Huff again in the gun. Looking right, throwing. Pass is going to be complete to Kendall Dean. And Dean picks up another chunk of yardage down to about the 24-yard line. Call it a gain of 9. And it'll bring up second down and 1. The down doesn't matter. The distance does a little with 45 seconds to go here in this first half. And Furman already in range of Ian Williams and trying to maybe get a touchdown on the board for the first time tonight.
Billy Taylor's going to try to keep those guys inside from going out of bounds so they can run some clock off here. Furman probably have to use that timeout for that last field goal attempt.
They're going to keep it. That's Huff on the outside. Got good yardage inside the 20 and down to the 15. Clock will stop to move the chains. And Furman on this 2-minute drill, they have been good, quick, and have executed extremely well.
Missed tackle by Sheldon Butler right there. Excuse me, Sheldon Arnold.
Huff's going to throw the ball into the end zone and nearly intercepted. Huzzy had a beat on it. They were looking for Harris, and Huff overthrew his man, and it looked like it was intended for Huzzy, who's already got 1 interception this year and almost had a second.
That would have been a big momentum changer right there if he could have got that ball.
That would have certainly changed the outlook of this last 27 seconds.
We're finally in the red zone here, Robert. Let's see what they do. Field goals or touchdowns in the red zone I thought would be important in this game.
Yeah, first trip into the red zone for the Furman Paladins. Huff stepping, firing, throwing, touchdown. Anderson Jr. puts the Paladins in front as he catches a 15-yard dart from Tyler Huff.
Great throw by Huff. Phenomenal series for him right there. He's getting warmed up right now and has just done a good job. The offensive line is keeping East Tennessee State off him, and he's just threading the ball right there. Good throw, good catch, and a big momentum shift for the Paladins as they go into halftime.
And here's Alex LaPro, the left-handed kicker. He comes in for extra points and short field goals. He has made all 3 of his extra points this year. This one is up and on the way and throw. So ETSU, who's led throughout, now trails by 6, 13-7 with 22 seconds to go in quarter number 2.
Yep, and I think that was a big shift right there. I've mentioned it many times. That's a big shift right before the half. The confidence level by Huff right now throwing the ball has got to be a big plus for them going into halftime after kind of an ugly half for the Furman offense. East Tennessee State shouldn't be too upset. They've had 3 turnovers and only down, 6 points. And so we'll just see what happens in the second half. I think that first series of the third quarter could really dictate what happens in this ball game, Robert.
Yeah, Furman with it trying to get that wraparound touchdown. We saw last year ETSU in that charmed year where they went 11-2, did that a bunch and kind of turned games either in their favor or really kind of put things away early, or at least made it difficult on their opponents. Now Furman trying to turn the tables here. But the Buck defense has been good all night until that last drive where Furman went quick and ETSU just could not get off the field. Started with great field position after a good punt return by Callie Chiswick, and so now this is going to be a kick into the end zone from Anderson. And so the Bucks will get it with 22 seconds to go in the quarter. And trailing by 6. First and 10 at their 25.
Yep, I say just hit a knee here. Don't even run the ball. You know, don't take the chance on a fumble run. Hit a knee here. Let's go into halftime and regroup. Again, advantage Furman right now. But you never know what happens. Again, I do believe this game is going to go down to the wire, it looks like to me.
So Rydell will take a knee, or at least it appears so. He'll take one knee, and that should end the first half. Both teams will head to the locker room. Furman led 3-0. ETSU got a touchdown on the very next play to make it 7-3. It was 7-6 before that touchdown by Furman at the end of the half, and now the Paladins lead 13-7 going into halftime here in Johnson City, thanks to a very solid first half from Tyler Huff. 12 of 18, 125 yards and a score. 13-7. Furman, the Paladins looking for an upset win on the road. It's halftime when we return here on ESPN+. We'll kick things off to the team in all white with the purple trim in Furman. The Paladins with a 13-7 lead. It's Anderson and Miller. That's right, Ryan Miller, the tight end, back deep to receive. And Keltner will put a foot into it. It'll come down to Anderson at about the 4-yard line. Anderson will work his way up the middle of the field. Won't get back to the 25 as he's chopped down at the 23. Zach West in on the stop for ETSU. And that is where the Paladins will start, leading 13-7. And Mark, you've talked about it a couple of times. It is worth mentioning again. This is maybe the most important drive of the ball game for either one of these two football teams.
No question about that. Furman had the momentum going in at half, again, knowing they're going to get this ball the first series. So they score a touchdown. If they get a touchdown right here, this momentum has really shifted over to the Paladins. So the Bucks need to stop them right now, but I do believe to stay in this ball game.
So Huff out of the gun to start the third quarter. And they'll turn and throw the ball over the middle, and it's in and out of the hands of Miller, who usually is very sure-handed, and then almost intercepted by Chris Hope. So it went through Miller's hands and then through the hands of the ETSU safety to bring up second down.
Not bad coverage. They scored a touchdown on that last week against Clemson, that same play.
Now that slant. Miller is kind of a hybrid tight end. I think he is ripe for the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers ran a couple of weeks ago, and they were really impressed with Ryan Miller in the way that he catches the football. And they're going to turn. They're going to hand it off. That's Roberto. Got nothing. Well, that ETSU defensive front has been really stout. And out there on the stop was Timmy Dorsey, Chandler Martin in there as well. If you take out Tyler Huff and his running ability, only 42 yards on the ground for the running back. So the Bucks have been up to task at the point of attack. The problem has been when Huff has kept the football.
That's right. He's their leading rusher, so really no surprise there. He's just does both for them.
Big third down. 1 for 6, and Huff's going to throw. Pass is going to be broken up. That was behind the intended receiver, Miller, and then Hope was able to knock it to the ground. That would have been good enough for a first down, but instead it'll be 4th down and 10 and a punt from Furman. Big opening stop if you're a Buccaneer fan.
Yeah, that throw was not accurate. Got rushed a little bit by Stephen Scott. Billy Taylor brought a linebacker there. So big stop for the Buccaneer defense. They come in here and get a touchdown or get points on this drive. That momentum might switch back to the Buccaneers.
First punt of the night was not a good one, and this one much better. A high hanger and a line drive that'll drive Huzzy all the way back to the 27, and that is where ETSU will start. 1st and 10 at their own 27-yard line and after a timeout. So big opening stop for ETSU. It's a one-possession game when we return to Johnson City. A gain of just a yard officially. They said they spotted the ball at the 29. Or excuse me, the 28. But it's closer to 2nd down and 8 for ETSU. So big first possession for the Bucs. If the possession was big for Furman, it's equally as big for ETSU.
Exactly. If they don't do anything here, Furman will get pretty good field position in their next offensive series. Tyler Rydell needs to move the chains a little bit here.
Rydell throws behind an intended target in Wilson. He was trying to fit it between the linebacker and the DB. It was just over the head of Bryce McCormick, but a little behind Wilson. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long. Boy, it looked like they had something there, and maybe Rydell just misfired.
McCormick did a good job dropping in the line of fire right there. Rydell would have to wait another split second to let the receiver pass McCormick, but McCormick did a great job staying in the passing lane right there from the linebacker spot.
Furman showing blitz, and will they say it's a flinch by the offensive line, or is it going to be offsides? Furman says the center, Schreiber, may have moved, may have flinched just enough to draw them off. The linesman is talking to the umpire there just to try to clarify. They're going to say it is offsides against the defense, and that'll help the Bucs out. Make 3rd down and 8, 3rd down and 3. So ETSU's just 1 for 6 on 3rd down. Furman 1 for 7 now after their opening miss in this 3rd quarter. Neither team has been really good on possession downs, but they have moved the ball a lot, just not sustained efforts by either team.
Yeah, you can continue the 1 for 6 on 3rd downs. You're not going to win many ball games.
ETSU now 3rd down and a long 3. They need to get to about the 37-yard line to pick up a 1st down. Rydell's going to take the snap, throw, pressure coming. He's going to step, fire, pass, caught by Wilson, who was juggling it all the way to the ground, but he is able to hang on all the way up to the 45-yard line, and a big gain of 12 yards on 3rd down and 3. A good throw from Tyler Rydell.
Yep, good throw, good catch, pretty good timing right there. Isaiah Wilson stayed with that one. I thought he might drop there for a second. Pretty good coverage, too, by Michael Robinson.
Now, Wilson has some of the strongest hands on the team. As ETSU's going to turn, they're going to hand it off to Sailors, trying to get to the outside. Sailors gets nothing. Good defensive pursuit on the play by the Paladins, and coming up to make the tackle was Jeremiah Jackson.
I'd like to see Rydell throw the ball a little bit more on 1st down. They're running Sailors pretty much every 1st down right here. I think they're going to have to change that up. Have the pass set up the run here this 2nd half.
Sailors came in 136 yards shy of 3rd place all time, but he's only got 58 yards to this point on the ground. Will be sit in motion as Rydell will look to throw, and that one's batted down again at the line of scrimmage. Getting his paw on it was Lex Capitano. That's not Lex Capitano. Apologize. It was the big defensive lineman in Bryce Stanfield. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 10. So
that's about three or four tips here by Rydell. You know, he's not very tall. You know, he's only about 5'11". That's going to happen sometimes. And sometimes at that height, you're going to get tipped balls. And it looks like it happened right there. Good job by the defense.
ETSU facing 3rd and 10. Picked up a 3rd down a moment ago. They are now 2 for 7 on 3rd down. 4 seconds on the play clock. Pressure coming from Furman. Rydell's going to roll out. Steps away for the pressure. Now throws downfield and throws it out of bounds. Will Huzzy thought he was open, but he was on the near side of the field. The play rolled towards the far side, and ETSU, after another failed 3rd down attempt, will have to punt.
Yep, they've gotten his face right there. Sometimes the receivers for East Tennessee State run away from Tyler sometimes. I think they need to come back and try some open spots when he gets out on that corner, giving somebody to throw the ball to. He's thrown a lot of balls out of bounds, which have been smart because nobody's been open, but his receivers need to work on coming back to him and finding open lanes for him to try to get him the ball when he's rushed out of the pocket.
Chiswick awaits the punt of Trace Kelly, and this is a high, booming kick that will be caught at about the 11-yard line, and fair caught there by Callie Chiswick, and another timeout. 11:55 to go in quarter number 3. Not much has changed in the first half. Still kind of in a stalemate. Furman, though, with the lead, 13-7. after a 44-yard punt. Furman will take over 1st and 10 at their own 11. Still leading by 6, 13-7. They're going to turn and hand it off to Abrams, and not much there. I mean, he got held up right as he got to the 12, a gain of 3 feet. ETSU's defensive front has been good against a traditional run, Mark. They haven't allowed much from a tailback as they take a look at ETSU plugging it up, and what a shock in there on the stop is Chandler Martin.
Yep, both teams seem to be liking to run the ball on 1st down, and with 2 very capable quarterbacks. I expect that to change here at some point.
Going to take play action, going to throw the ball out of the flat. Pass is going to be caught by Harris. He'll fight his way up near the 20, and it'll bring up 3rd down and short. So maybe a manageable 3rd down for Furman, who's 1 for 7 on that 3rd down attempt tonight. They've struggled along with ETSU. In fact, a combined 3 for 15 for these two teams on this 3rd down.
Yep, that's not winning football, either offense right there, no question.
So Huff into the shotgun on 3rd and 1. Going to turn. Huff's going to keep it. He's going to roll to the left. Has the 1st down a little bit more as he gets up near the 30-yard line. Knocked out just shy of it. Actually, they're going to give it to him and a little bit more to the 31. Thought the official was going to put his foot down at the 29, but Huff continues to be a big part of the offense running it, as he's up over now 70 yards, almost creeping into the 80-yard mark. And ETSU has given up the 3rd down for only the 2nd time tonight. And Furman is now on the move.
He's definitely a dual threat. There's a good chance, Rob, before this season's over, he does lead the team in passing and rushing.
They're going to throw it in the flat. That's Miller. And Miller's immediately wrapped up and knocked out of bounds by Mike Price. Price has been shadowing him most of the night. And for Miller, that is just his 2nd catch of the evening. He was prime target number 1, rightfully so, last week against Clemson with 13 catches. Going to bring up 2nd down at 4.
Speaking of catching, his dad was a baseball player at Auburn with a gentleman by the name of Bo Jackson.
They're going to hand it off left side, and Abrams is swallowed up again. Again, it's Chandler Martin. Martin along with a very active Timmy Dorsey tonight. Dorsey from that nose position. You don't usually get to hear the name of a big guy all that much, but Dorsey's been very active a couple of times tonight. Dare was able to get to the legs of the running back, and then it was Chandler Martin who just kind of cleaned things up. Big 3rd down. Huff's going to take the snap, looks and throws, and a great catch by the wide receiver Harris on the quick slant, just cut in front of Quinn Smith, and is able to pick up the 1st down to the 44. And now back-to-back 3rd down conversions from Furman after they'd struggled for most of the game.
Joshua Harris seems to be the go-to receiver tonight. The Bucks have spent a lot of time taking a look at trying to cover Ryan Miller, and they're leaving Joshua Harris out there. He's having a pretty good ball game.
A 6th catch of the night as they're going to throw. That's going to be caught by the wide receiver Shiflett, and Shiflett's close to another 1st down.
There was nobody out there covering him. He just sat down at about 6 yards, and there wasn't a Buccaneer anywhere near him. Starting to go a little fast here with that passing game, Robert. Looked very similar to that series they ran right before the half to score their touchdown.
1st down for Shiflett as he carries it into Buck territory at the 46.
The Buccaneers are not as deep as Furman defensively.
Huff is now 16 of 24 in the ball game. He's going to throw again. Looking over the middle, and the pass is caught by Miller. Boy, he's dropped a couple tonight, Mark, and there's another one where maybe looking to run a little bit before he was able to snag the football.
Looks like he's human. We didn't think he was, but from the game films we've seen and the teams that he's played against, like I said, he had 13 catches last week against Clemson. Kind of surprising.
It'll be 2nd down. And 10 from the 46 of ETSU. Again, Furman just going to throw the football across the middle, and that one is going to be caught by Miller. Well, he went up and got that for an 11-yard gain and a 1st down at the ETSU 35.
Yep, they're opening up with the passing game here, which I thought they might.
Well, they are just rearing back and throwing it. The Bucks have not allowed really the running game outside of the run of Huff to be a factor, but look at this throw and catch.
Phenomenal. Again, they're not getting to Huff either. Somebody's got to get in his face or he's just going to carve them up.
Huff again to throw, going to step up. He's going to fire deep, looking down the sideline, and it's going to be in and out of the hands of a diving Kendall Dean. He was trying to fight along the near sideline with Quinn Smith. Smith was able to hold his own, and Dean could not come up with it. It'll be second down and 10. Boy, the Furman Paladins took a shot.
That was a pretty good throw right there. You should have caught that pass, I believe. Let's watch this again.
Well, that was right on the money.
You got to catch that one, Robert.
Yeah, Huff's accuracy has been pretty
I
spectacular
think he
since
started
the
0
early
for
part.
3, but he's kind of heated up since then.
Yeah, he was slow to start, but he's been good since. Huff going to throw again, trying to look for something quick. Going to step up and try to fight for yardage. Gets a couple, maybe one, to the 34. Flushed out of there by Jalen Porter, who has a sack and a fumble forced tonight. And now there's a buck down to the play. I think it's Steven Scott again. He came up hurting earlier in the ball game on a non-contact play, and now after making contact with the quarterback in Huff, he is now down on the turf.
Probably a well-deserved break. Well, I shouldn't say deserved break. Needed break by the Buccaneers with Scott right there.
I think Scott might have just be cramping up. I mean,
yes.
that might have been the reason earlier.
Right, he wasn't touched the last time, as you mentioned.
Yep, so maybe a cramp here again for Steven Scott, who they need.
They need desperately because they're not very deep at linebackers, we've mentioned before.
Yeah, Scott's had a propensity to make big plays in his career, too. Everybody remembers last year the win at Vanderbilt for the Buccaneers. He was the one that had the scoop and score that kind of put the ball game away and extended what was a one-possession game at the time. And in his place, come Cameron Garnett, the freshman from Harlem, Georgia. But it's third down and long. This might be two-down territory here, so maybe a run to set up a shorter fourth down opportunity as Huff is going to face some pressure, but they pick it up, throws across the middle, pass incomplete, but they're going to say pass interference as the flag comes in late. They were looking for Harris again, and covering him up was Elijah Huzzy, but might have gotten there just a tad too soon.
I think he might have gone over the top of Josh with pretty good coverage, though.
Harris was coming back to the football as Huzzy was coming in.
Holding, defense, number 2. 10 yards from the previous spot, and an automatic first down.
I hate to tell the head referee here.
Not a number 2 on the field. That's
yeah,
right.
Bruce Austin, there is not a number 2 on the field. In fact, the
Must
only
have been
number
2-8.
the only number 2 on the roster for ETSU is Tyler Rydell, the quarterback.
I think, let's see, if I'm correct here, Joshua Harris is number 2, but he's on offense, so it wasn't on him.
Yep, I think that might have been the confusion.
Yes.
So first down and 10, and that's going to be Huff who keeps it, and then Martin just wraps him up. Martin was not fooled that time. His key is the quarterback now.
Yes.
And was able to haul him down for a loss of 2. Huff never. It was Jalen Porter who crashed, and that's the read for the quarterback at the end. But the middle linebacker and Martin
Scraping
was able
off there did a good job.
Yeah,
of course, Huff's, he tripped a little bit there, but he still wouldn't have got away from Chandler Martin.
Martin in his freshman campaign, redshirt freshman campaign out of Lithonia, Georgia, has been a pretty big hitter already in his first 2+ games. Second down and 12. Throw it over the middle. Pass is going to be caught. And inside the 5 and down to about the 3 is Harris. And he's been a huge target for Huff tonight. And he picks up another big gain of 26 yards. And it'll be first and goal for the Paladins deep inside ETSU territory.
Joshua Harris only had 6 catches in the first 2 games. What does he have right now, Robert?
7.
7 already.
Yeah, nearing 100 yards. 7 catches, 90 yards for Harris. He's been
midway through the third quarter.
He's been targeted 10 times tonight. And Huff's going to keep it, flip it out into the flat. That's Miller, and it's an easy touchdown. Furman's now on top by 2 possessions. It's now 19-7. Nice little play action and flip to Miller. And the Paladins score first here in the second half and extend their lead.
Yep, they've run that play twice to the right-hand side. Just reverse it out the flat, wide open. Somebody missed an assignment. Easy touchdown for Miller, and the momentum is hanging on. There's no question about it with the Furman side right here. East Tennessee State's going to need to do something here on offense to stay in this game.
And LaPro to tack on the extra point. It is through. And now the lead grows to 20-7. 6:13 to go here in quarter number 3 of the Bucks. Have their back against the wall, but how about the Paladins? Offense is cruising now. They have a 13-point lead when we return on ESPN+.
Offside. Defense number 5. That penalty decline. Extra point is good. Media time.
Touchdowns together in their last 3 drives, taken what was a 7-6 deficit and made it out to a 20-7 lead, as it'll be Williams to put his foot to football. And this one is another deep kick into the end zone right at the end line that will go out of the back of the end zone for a touchback, and the Bucks will start at their 25. Well, Mark, we talked about big drives. Furman scores the first points of the second half. It didn't come on the opening drive of the half. Bucks did a good job defensively there, but it comes on the second drive of the half with 6:13 to go in the third quarter. You're now down 2 scores. And the Bucks really haven't had anything offensively outside of that 75-yard touchdown.
Pretty much that's the case. And I tell you this right now, you 3 and out right now, give that ball back to Tyler Huff, you're in trouble. So they at least need to move the chain several times. They need 4 or 5 first downs to get, and hopefully get a field goal or a touchdown here to stay in this ball game. But they can't go 3 and out right now, Robert.
So Rydell in the shotgun. The Bucks will go to work. They'll throw the football looking for Lewis, and Cam Lewis unable to hang on. Boy, he looked like he had it and then was unable to hang on, and then the corner, I believe, and Dominic Morris might have picked up an unsportsmanlike penalty. Maybe jawed a little too much, said something that the referee did not like, and that'll be 15 yards. So a gift from this Paladin defense, and Morris will immediately come off the field.
They'll bring the veteran back in there, Travis Blackshear. Pretty good coverage by Morris, but you can't be doing that. Clay Hendricks is
after the
old
play
school.
was over. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 4 of the defense. 15 yards from the previous spot. That's number 4's first unsportsmanlike of the half.
Bruce Austin is struggling tonight, but he does get that out, as that is a 15-yard penalty. I don't know what in the world Austin, he stood right over it. Or excuse me, Morris stood right over him. I was going to say, I don't know what he did, but he stood over him, and you can't do that. He might have said a few things, and that got the penalty, and the Bucks up to the 40-yard line. So maybe that'll wake up ETSU.
See if the Bucks can make them pay for that.
And boy, a run blitz wrapped up Sailors. Boy, coming in and making a big stop was Shakova, the graduate student from Fayetteville, North Carolina, 6'4", 296, and he was all over him.
He had the tip on that first interception there in the first quarter, doing a good job for him. He's doing a good job right now.
Watch Shakova do the work.
He ran right by Braxton Ship, redshirt freshman out of Concord for the Bucks.
Yep. Ship is the starting right tackle at the moment. ETSU now facing second down at 13. They're going to 4-man rush. They're going to throw the ball to Lewis, and Lewis, did he hang on? They're going to say he did, inside Furman territory and down at the 38-yard line. Lewis now 3 catches tonight, and that one might be the best of the bunch.
Great throw too. I mean, that's the only thing. That's the only place you could put it. He stayed with that one, but you're going to the taller receiver against these shorter defensive backs. What a throw! Oh, great catch.
Yeah, and he did have his feet in too. Might have had both feet. Regardless, it's a first down. And now a Furman Paladin down at about the 45-yard line. And they will get tended to, but a big throw and a catch, and maybe that personal foul penalty, even though it's not much of a play for ETSU, gets them going a little bit, as Jacobo, who made a big play a couple of plays ago, is now shaken up and being helped off the field.
Yep, it keeps the ball in the Buccaneers' hands. Again, gives their defense some rest too. As I mentioned earlier, they need to move the ball here and get several first downs, hopefully get some points to get back in this, but each play they're running right now, they're giving their defense a little bit of a break, but they do need to score some points right here. But Lewis is playing a pretty good ball game for someone that hadn't caught a pass year to date.
Tyler Rydell, 211 yards now throwing on 14 of 25. Big possession for the Bucks, and they are now in Furman territory. They're going to hand it off, and another run that goes nowhere. They have been all over that. That's Jack Barton, the backup defensive end, the junior out of Alpharetta, Georgia, just swallows up Jacob Faylor. Another loss, this one a 4. It's second down and 14.
Well, as Furman did last series, they started throwing the ball on first down. I believe Coach is going to have to do that. Magura is going to have to start doing that on first down and allow Sailors to run the ball on second short or whatever. He's got to get the ball out of Tyler Rydell's hands on here on first down, throwing the ball.
We'll see if Rydell's going to face pressure. Furman shifts up front. Just a 4-man rush. Rydell's going to step up, throw, looks outside, pass is deflected in the air. Is looking for Huzzy. Good defense on the far side by the corner at Blackshear. And it'll bring up third down and really long, 14 yards for TSU.
I think he had Enosh Carter there inside Huzzy, about 7, 8 yards off the ball, but he didn't see him. He's going towards the tall receiver here. Big third down play right here. You've got to get a bunch of it to have a chance for Kellner for a field goal, but they may need a first down to try to get points on this, because I don't know if Kellner can get one from 55 yards or whatever, no question.
So it'll be third down at 14. Trip receivers to the right. That's the top of the screen. Rydell facing a four-man rush. Going to step and throw. Pass complete. That's Lewis across the middle. Has another first down all the way down to the Furman 24-yard line. And Lewis, who didn't have a single target in the first two games, now has 4 big catches tonight and is starting to become the favorite for Tyler Rydell.
This is the Cam Lewis, Josh Harris night tonight with 2 different receivers that hadn't done a whole lot till this ball game. Great throw by Rydell too.
Rydell fakes, steps, and throws. Lewis had it and then lost it, and they're going to say incomplete. And Lewis trying to come up with his 5th catch tonight, but there's a flag back at the point of the throw. We'll see if it's holding or roughing the pass.
Personal foul, roughing the pass. Number 0 of the defense. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
That's Cameron Coleman, who's the nose guard, who's from Elizabethton, Tennessee, right down the street. I'm sure his parents are here, but he's done a good job for them over his career, preseason, second team all-conference. But these 2 penalties to help the Bucks sustain this drive, Robert.
Yeah, 2 big ones. That one after the play. The other one was after the play as well. And so now it'll be first down and 10 at the Furman 14. ATSU going to run it or throw it on first down. They're going to take and they're going to hand it off to Rydell's going to keep it and get to the outside and pick up maybe 2 or 3 yards. It's something that he hasn't done a lot of in his career, is keep it on that read, but does that time and picks up about 4 yards down to the 11-yard line.
I like that call. That's what the Furman's been doing with Tyler Huff. Kind of a little bit of change up for Rydell. 4 yards is better than the 1 or 2 they've been getting Sailors on first down, so good call.
Rydell's not the biggest of guys, but does move quite well. I saw him with a big run earlier that picked up a first down as well. Second down and 6. Rydell's looking to throw. It's going to step up, fire to the end zone. Had Huzzy, but it's incomplete. And it'll bring up third down and 6. We had him. The defensive back Blackshear fell down, and he just couldn't get the ball in the range of the guy who can jump out of the gym.
Again, Bryce McCormick, the linebacker, got in that lane, made him throw that a little bit higher than he wanted to, but still that's probably a throw that Tyler Rydell would like to have hot. Oh yeah, he had plenty of room to get it over his head, but again, McCormick's doing a good job of staying in those passing lanes on those inside routes.
Question now, is it 2 down territory, 4 down territory? Do you have 2 plays to pick up 6 yards down? The best drive since that interception at the goal line by the Bucks. Rydell with 2 receivers each way. It sends a man in motion. That's Sailors. Rydell's going to step up. He's going to fire, looking to the end zone. And Carter, did he catch it? He did. Touchdown ETSU. And when the Bucks needed it, Tyler Rydell with a big drive. Enosh Carter's 2nd touchdown of the night. And ETSU's climbed to within 7.
They're right back in this ball game. Again, a great drive. They got a little bit of help with the 2 penalties, but another fine throw by Rydell. Good catch by Enosh Carter, and they've got this. They're right back in this ball game.
So here's Tyler Keltner, who made an extra point earlier. ETSU now 311 total yards of offense compared to 316 from Furman, and with an extra point can climb to within 6. And they can answer the big touchdown drive that Furman just had.
That could be big, this extra point here. 14, they're only 6 down. A touchdown, extra point puts you in the lead.
So Tyler Keltner to try to tack on the extra point, and it is good. And ETSU, after the cannon fires here in Johnson City, has crawled to within 6. It's 20-14, and a big drive, Mark, for the Bucks.
Big answer by the Buccaneers right there. Again, they got a little bit of help from Furman on the penalties, but hey, great job right there. They're right back in this ball game.
9 plays and 75 yards, taking 2 minutes and 59 seconds off the clock. And a couple of things to talk about. There's been 2 names that we have mentioned but haven't discussed a lot, and that the Bucks have talked about but haven't seen a lot out of, and that's Cam Lewis and Anaj Carter have played a big part in the receiving game. So much attention being played to Will Huzzy that maybe that's opening up things for guys on the other side of the formation.
I think it's kind of the same thing with Ryan Miller and Josh Harris on the other side for Furman. So, yeah, those guys that hadn't been getting the call as much as the superstars are playing an integral part of both these offenses scoring points. So great job by both teams. And again, the Bucks are back in. A good throw by Rydell here. The only place you could put it.
And Anaj Carter's second touchdown of the night. The first, a 75-yard stroll right down the right sideline. This one in the end zone on a perfectly thrown ball from Tyler Rydell. And with 3:14 left, Keltner to put a foot to it, and this will go over the head of Anderson, the return man, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Furman at the 25-yard line. So can the ETSU defense step up, or will the Furman offense, which has been rolling here on the last 3 drives, outside of that one hiccup on the opening drive of the third quarter, can they continue success? Because it's been the Tyler Huff show. He's got 80 yards rushing, 192 through the air, and a couple of touchdowns, including the one to Miller on the last drive.
Yeah, big series here for the Buck defense. They got a little bit of a rest. They were able to get some rest over there on the sidelines with that long drive by Rydell and company. So they should be rested and try to go after Mr. Huff right here.
It's going to be Huff taking a snap, looking. Pass is going to be complete up to the 30-yard line, and that's where it'll come to a close. Again, it's Harris wrapped up by Huzzy. Harris again had 6 catches coming into the night. That's his 8th. He now has 95 yards receiving as well.
He's got another quarter to play.
And he has had a big night opposite Brian Miller, who's the All-American tight end. ETSU's gone man-to-man on the perimeter. They've really tried to bracket everything in the slot. As Huff's going to throw again, ball batted in the air, and that one is nearly intercepted. The man who's played a big role tonight in the run game, Timmy Dorsey, batted it, looked like he had it, and could not hang on. And Tyler Huff takes a big sigh of relief. It was not only the tip by Dorsey, but then the big guy who's got his hands all taped up because he's in there playing close to the line of scrimmage could not haul it in, but what a big play that was for Dorsey nonetheless.
Yeah, we've had 2 drops by the defensive lineman, one on each team. Shafka earlier in the second quarter, and Dorsey right there.
The 3rd down at 5, ETSU bringing pressure. Again, Furman picks it up, and this time Harris falls down, but a flag on Huzzy. Harris fell down.
That wasn't a catchable ball, I don't think, Rob. Let's see.
And we'll have to wait and see if Huzzy wins his argument here. But the officials are talking this thing over. But Huzzy's saying he didn't touch it. The officials look like they're going to give a 1st down to Furman on a penalty.
Pass interference.
And the pass interference is called
number 28.
on Huzzy.
Ball be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic. 1st down.
I'd like to see the replay of that.
Well, there have been a couple of big penalties. There were 2 big ones on Furman on the last drive for ETSU. And there's a pass interference, and the official forgot to turn his mic off. Thankfully he did. And they're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off. That's Roberto. Gets nothing. Again, a gain of a yard. Steven Scott shuts it down. I mean, ETSU on the initial run, if it's been given to a tailback, they've been phenomenal tonight.
Yep, the only time they've really been hurt is when Huff's pulled it and escaped around the corner. So
and Roberto's 8 for 32 yards, but he did have an 18-yard carry in there. And then Abrams has 6 carries for 6 yards. Other than that, there's been nothing on the ground outside of Huff keeping it himself. Second down at 9. Play action. They're going to throw it out of the flat. That is going to be caught by Shiflett, and he is immediately upended by Quinn Smith up to the 49. It'll be 3rd down and 3. You would think a big 3rd down as we roll under 2 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. And a 1-possession game. The Bucks defense giving up a couple of touchdowns on the last 3 drives. Furman has been in much better rhythm since about midway through the 2nd quarter. Huff's going to take, and he's going to keep. He wants to throw. Now under pressure, looks across the middle, and the ball batted away by Huzzy, but another flag. And that'll extend the drive again for the Paladins as They were looking for Shiflett across the middle, and Hussey has his second pass interference on this drive.
My goodness, those are two questionable calls, Robert. What else can somebody do? I'd like to see it again. We didn't see the replay on the first one. Wow.
And I think they're going to pick it up.
There's no foul.
Good job by the referees right there.
So the official, Bruce Austin, says there's no flag for pass interference, and now it's 4th down and 3. And now the question is, will Furman go for it?
Boy, this is huge.
And you could say that there was some contact.
He had the left arm around him, yeah.
Yeah, he had his left arm there, but the officials pick it up. I don't think the penalty is there. I think it was initially with the arm, the left arm, the trail arm behind the receiver. But regardless, they pick up the flag and the Bucks get it back. And the punt will come down to Hussey, who makes the catch at the 17, maybe the 18-yard line. And with 1:18 to go in quarter number 3, ETSU has a chance with this drive to take the lead. This was a 3-0 Furman game after an interception and then a field goal on the second play of the game, in fact. The very next offensive play, and Aj Carter went 75 yards for a touchdown. ETSU led 7-3, then 7-6. It stayed 7-6 forever. Furman got a score right before the half, a score right after the half, and now ETSU trying to make it back-to-back possessions with a touchdown. And Rydell's under pressure. He's going to step up and throw down the field. He's got an Aj Carter, and then Carter trying to get back to the football, could not. Trying to avoid the defender, and it's incomplete. Boy, he had Carter wide open yet again and just underthrew it.
Yeah, but he had a little rush. He couldn't set his feet real good right there. The pass rush hurt him just enough. That's a long, delayed play right there. But he couldn't set his feet quite good enough for the rush from 31 there. And boy, he had it. Almost a pass interference on number 3 right there, but good call by the refs.
And Cam Brinson in coverage. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 10 with 1:11 to go on a stop clock in the third. Play action, they're going to throw it into the flat. It's caught by Noah West, and West has 6 yards to the 25. It'll bring up 3rd down and 4.
I like the play calling now. Is going out, throwing that thing on 1st down, opening up the offense a little bit there. Sailors are going to help him here. If they can hit a few more 1st downs with the pass, they can come back to him on short yardage plays. Big 3rd down right here for the Buck offense. Their defense stopped Furman, turned the momentum back over to them a little bit, and they have a chance to go in here and score and get a lead right now if they can get a touchdown.
Bucks 4 for 10 on 3rd down. They're going to hand it off to Sailors. Sailors lowers his shoulder and has the 1st down, a gain of 5. On 3rd down and 4.
There you go. The pass set up the run right there, Robert. That was strictly because they've been throwing the ball 1st and 2nd down. I think that set up the run, which is what you want to try to do to win this ball game, I believe.
Hugh Ryan in on the stop. And the clock will roll here in the 3rd. I think the Bucks are willing to take it to quarter number 4. Boy, it's been an entertaining 3rd quarter. We have had kind of an odd game throughout the first 2 quarters of this game, but this has been a very fun, exciting action in the Southern Conference. It's 2014. Furman with the lead at the end of 3. We're back with 4th quarter action after this timeout on ESPN+.
Robert's pretty cool. They're playing, my son's the lead guitar player for Cole Swindell, and they're playing his #1 hit, Heads Carolina, Tails California.
The Bucks are hoping that it's Heads touchdown on this drive. That's as we start the 4th quarter. It's 20-14, Furman with the lead, and Rydell's facing pressure. He's going to throw to Hussey. Hussey trying to skip a tackle, does, and then won't get much as he's wrapped up after a gain of about 4 to the 33, maybe the 34-yard line. We'll see where they mark it at the 33. Take a look now at the series history. We talked about it off the top, Mark. What I wanted to call everybody's attention to is that last little note. Last 4 meetings in this series have been decided by a combined 17 points. In case you're counting, that's 4.25 points per game.
You're good with the math there, Robert. I wouldn't have got that.
We're sitting here at 6 at ETSU with the football as it's Travis Blackshear shaken up for the Paladins. But that just goes to show, well, the Paladins have a huge advantage in the overall series, 27-9, that ETSU and Furman over the last 4 years have really played some tight ball games. The ball game in the spring here of 2021 was tight. The fall game was a tight one where Rydell had a late touchdown drive to win the ball game in Greenville. And this one's shaping up to be another classic.
No question about it. I believe we got another one of those tight ones.
Second down and 6 for Rydell. Sends Sanaj Carter into motion. Going to step and look to throw, and now he's under some pressure, and he's slung to the ground by Luke Clark. And that is a sack all the way back to the 29-yard line. It'll bring up third down and 10 as Clark, playing in that bandit position, kind of like a hybrid down/end rusher, is able to get home. And Rydell just had nowhere to deliver the football.
Yeah, they've switched sides with him sometimes. He goes right in, left side. A great job, good coverage by the secondary, Furman. Rydell didn't have anywhere to go on that early.
The third and 10. The Bucks are 5 of 11 on third down in the ball game. Remember, at one point they were 1 for 6. So they're 4 for their last 5. This would be a big one.
Yes.
Will Furman bring pressure? They're showing 4. Now they bring a late man 5th. Throwing over the middle, and he had Wilson wide open, and Rydell short-armed it. If he puts it on target, it's a touchdown. Wilson was wide open at about midfield, and he underthrew the football.
He has not missed too often. I think he was just a little too careful because Wilson was so open. Sometimes the wide open guys are some of the toughest throws, but Tyler Rydell would like to have that throwback right there, no question. That hurt.
If he hits Wilson on stride, he's got a linebacker in Braden Gilby trying to keep up with a wide receiver. That would have gone for big yardage and maybe a touchdown.
We'll have to remember that later in the game. That may come back to haunt the Bucks.
So here's Trace Kelly to punt it away. Again, Chiswick is back deep to receive, and this is a wobbler that Chiswick's going to come up and catch, and did not fair catch, but it'll be wrapped up right at the point of bringing it in at the 39-yard line. So Chiswick dangerously kept that one alive, and ETSU up to the task. And with 13-17 to go in the fourth quarter, Furman holding a 6-point lead, we take a break. You're watching Southern Conference football on ESPN+. Some of the fans that have made their way from Greenville, South Carolina, right now they're happy as Furman will take over the football in good position, but as they try to hand it off right side to a tailback, and again, Chandler Martin leading the way as they tried to get it off on the right side to one of their backup tailbacks. Just trying something different, it looked like, Marcus. It'll be Kendall Thomas wrapped up for no gain. In fact, a loss of a couple back to the 38-yard line.
As we've mentioned, they have not done much running the fullbacks or tailbacks here. The only guy that's hurt them is Tyler Huff.
Thomas will remain in the game to Huff's right in the shotgun. Again, they're going to throw it. They've thrown it a bunch. This one thrown down the field, but incomplete. Well, they were looking over the top, and Furman wanted a penalty, but a good job by Price to hold up as Shiflett had no chance to bring that thing in. And it'll bring up third down and 11 as Huzzy and Shiflett have a conversation.
Big play right here for the Bucks on defense. How many times have we said that? You know, that momentum had kind of gone to Furman here after they scored to go up 20-7, but yet East Tennessee comes back and scores, and Furman hadn't done a whole lot since they scored the 20-point, that last touchdown.
So third down and 11. Huff in the gun. It's going to play action. They're going to look to throw it back to Harris, and Harris going to be beaten up as they were fighting through blocks, and there's going to be only a gain of about a yard back to the original line of scrimmage. And the Buck defense really bowed its neck. I think that might have been Chandler Martin again fighting through the block to get to the tackle.
What a play by Martin right here, running through the blocker.
Yeah, Martin ran through the block of one of the offensive linemen, the center, Evan Jumper, and was able to make first contact to Dominic Roberto, and that ends the drive of 3 and out.
Phenomenal job right there. He's made a bunch of tackles. That's probably the best tackle he's made as a Buccaneer right there, Robert.
That is now his 10th tackle of the night in the double figures again. And this is a high hanger that Huzzy's going to fair catch at about the 15. And so Bucks will get it first and 10 at their own 15-yard line after another timeout. 11:49 to go in quarter number 4. ETSU trying to climb back into it. Furman trying to hang on here in a very hotly contested Southern Conference matchup. Good look at the crowd tonight. Another record attendance, the 4th highest attendance in ETSU history tonight. On a gold out, the Bucks dressed in the all gold. 11:49 to go in the fourth quarter and down by 6. And they're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off again. Sailors wrapped up. I think he may have lost a yard. You talk about adjustments. And it has been the defensive front, and that was Cameron Coleman leading the way. The defensive front from Furman has been phenomenal ever since about midway through the second quarter. They have not allowed Jacob Sailors the room that he had early on in the ball game.
Yep, I think again, Adam Neugebauer has been doing a better job of throwing the ball on first down to maybe open it up a little bit to him. I need to apologize to his dad. I've been calling him Nagur, I think, the entire first half or first three quarters. His dad, Paul, there in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm sure he's listening to this broadcast.
Rydell's under some pressure, going to spin away from it. Now steps up and wants to run. He's got all kinds of room across the 30, and he'll step out at about the 34-yard line. What looked like a dangerous play by Rydell turns out to be a huge chunk of yardage for Tyler Rydell. And the Bucs have a first down. Rydell's been good with his feet tonight.
He really has. Both quarterbacks have hurt the opposing defenses with their feet. I think Tyler Rydell has decided he's going to have to run the ball a little bit more than normal, too, to move the chains. He's doing a fantastic job. Him and Huff look really similar tonight as far as running the ball.
Rydell's under pressure. He's going to step up, and boy, he had room, but he was tripped up at a nice defensive play in the backfield by Furman's, I believe it was Skiana,
yes, it was,
junior linebacker from Frankfort, Illinois.
Great job tripping him up right there. He might have got another first down or 10 or 15 yards on that. Again, a backup player. Furman's using the depth they have at defense, and he did a great job by that. Dan did a good job on that.
That's what's helped the defensive line be so strong up front. They're very fresh. Second down at 12. Rydell's going to drop again. This time he's going to throw the ball to the outside, and Huzzy couldn't come down with it. The Buccaneers want a flag. Huzzy does as well. He didn't get a good coverage by Dominic Morris on the near side. Morris, remember, he had the personal foul on the play with Cam Lewis. And that time he just ran away from the incompletion, and it'll bring up third down and 12. The ETSU Bucs trying to throw a jump ball.
He better be careful over there. He's starting to run his mouth a little bit. Morris right there. And again, after that one penalty, I know Coach Hendricks talked to him, so he's excited. But, sometimes the youngsters got to be real careful after you make a great play. He's a freshman.
Rydell now third down and 12, trying to find a way to pick up a third down. Bucs 5 for 12. Going to take the snapshot. Play clock was winding down. Now Rydell's going to spin away from the rush. Now step up and throw down the field, and it's going to be in and out of the hands of Lewis. Lewis had to come back for it at the 35, and he could not hang on, and it'll be fourth down on a Buck punt.
That would have been a great play by Rydell. Good catch. Let's see if he has a chance to catch this ball.
I think it hit him right in the gut, and Lewis just could not hang on to it. A good job by the safety, Hugh Ryan, to break it up.
Got his left hand in there a little bit to possibly pull it away a little bit, but you got to jerk that ball away from him and make a catch.
Remember, Lewis is a converted quarterback, and maybe could have high-pointed the football a little bit better there, but instead an incomplete pass and a punt from Trace Kelly.
Again, I think the wide receivers for East Tennessee State need to work on when Rydell loses containment, gets outside containment, they need to come back and find him and get an open lane for him to throw you the ball.
Chiswick will fair catch this one at about the 27. And that is where Furman, with 9:34 to go, will take over after a timeout. Still a 6-point game here in Johnson City, coming down to the wire in a close one. 41-yard punt from Trace Kelly. So it'll be Furman at their 27, first and 10, leading by 6, 20-13. Paladins are 1-1 on the year. This is their Southern Conference opener. There's Tyler Huff, who's had a nice game, 22-35, 203 and 2 scores. He's also ran for 80 more. They're going to hand the ball off right side, nothing doing. I mean, that has been the case all night long. Mike Price comes in and sticks his hat in there against Dominic Roberto. And it'll bring up the second down and a very long 9 yards to go. I don't think he got more than a foot, maybe a foot and a half. And with 9:15 on the rolling clock, the question, if you're Furman, is how much are you throwing the football versus how much do you run it here and run the clock? Your defense has been great. Outside of the 2 scoring drives, one of them a 75-yard play. ETSU has not had much going offensively in terms of sustained drives. They're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball. Nope, throw it over the middle, and boy, there was an opportunity, an interception. They were looking for Miller, and Huff's throw was really high, and I think it caught on to Hope Chris Hope just a little faster than he had anticipated, and it's incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, they do that drill in practice where somebody runs in and kind of blocks you out. He dropped it. But fortunately for Furman, the East Tennessee State secondary doesn't catch the ball as well as theirs does, at least tonight, I think. But anyway, kind of a missed throw there by Huff. He's way more accurate than that. He had Miller on the slant like you mentioned, but let that one go a little bit high right there.
He came in completing 80% of his passes at 61% tonight. Huff, 3-man rush, going to step up, looks to throw, pass is going to be nearly intercepted. It was Huzzy who came in right as the ball got to the receiver in Kendall Dean, and a quick, and I mean very quick, 3 and out from the Furman Paladins. And ETSU's defense had that lull in the middle of the ballgame. The last drive of the second quarter, and really the second drive, that 3-drive stretch where Furman moved the ball and scored touchdowns. Other than that, they've been pretty fantastic.
Yeah, but I think Billy Taylor, as we mentioned him many times, their defensive coordinator, settled down here and got this thing going for the Bucks. They just need to score some points here to get in this game.
Here's Levy to get a punt away. This is going to be Huzzy. Huzzy's not going to fair catch this one, and then dropped it, and I believe he recovered it. Well, they're going to say Huzzy has the football, but the Bucks were looking for a big return, and fortunately for ETSU, they were able to get back on it. And so it'll be 1st and 10 there. There you see Huzzy looking down and nearly gave it up, but it'll be Buccaneer football when we return. Here in Johnson City, Tennessee, it's a 1-score game. Here's your game summary provided by Regional Eye Center. Offensive yardage, very similar. Time of possession within 17 seconds of one another. ETSU's had the ball a little bit longer. They'll have it to start this drive down by 6. The big difference has been rushing yards. All of that mainly Tyler Huff for Furman. That's the reason they're over 126 yards. He has 80 yards on the ground. And now ETSU has it 1st and 10 at their own 32, down a touchdown. Well, down 6. And Rydell's going to throw it into the flat. That's going to be Saylor. Saylor's trying to get to the outside, and he doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. In fact, might have lost a yard back to the 31. And so to bring up 2nd down 11. Well, they've tried to get Saylor's involved in the passing game, Mark. That is his 5th catch of the night, but he has gained only 8 yards. He's been very limited in all facets of the game.
Yep, he hadn't been able to do a whole lot tonight. Obviously, it's not his fault. The offensive line's got to help him with that. But they've got to keep this Furman pass rush off Tyler Rydell, helping him be able to throw the ball here.
Yeah, they've been getting home with 4s. They're going to hand it off to Irby, and Irby's going to go nowhere. Maybe got the yard back. I mean, that defensive front has just been active, and they have been eating up blocks. In on the stop was Luke Clark, as Irby had his 2nd carry of the ball game. And it will bring up 3rd down. They actually gave it forward progress up to the 33, so 3rd down and 9.
Just love the fact that Furman will freely substitute. They've got confidence too deep on their defense. And they've got fresh players, seems like every play. And you can really tell, looks like they're wearing out the offensive line a little bit from East Tennessee State.
So Rydell in the shotgun. Steps, rolls, he's under pressure. Going to try to release and throw down the field. There's going to be a flag for holding. The pass is going to be tipped and nearly caught by Huzzy, but you would think the holding would have brought that back. Instead, it'll be 4th down. That was away from the play, and I think it's probably going to go against Tavon Matthews. He stands there staring at the yellow flag as we get a good look at Huzzy, who was active early and has not seen much his way since.
Holding. Offense, number 76. Penalty be declined. 4th down.
Actually, Blake Alston.
Tyler Rydell's out there by himself. The offensive line is not helping him at all. They gave him a little bit of protection. He could do a little bit more of the ball here, but the last 8 or 10 pass attempts, he's just been getting rushed and bullied by that Furman defense. Again, as you see, the wide receivers for East Tennessee State are not coming back to the ball when Tyler is rushed out of that pocket. They'll work on that this week in practice, I would hope.
There's Trace Kelly again. Chiswick's back deep to receive the punt. He stands at his own 30.
Great job by the Furman defense.
And this is a high hammered kick by Kelly. Chiswick will take it at his own 23, back up and wrapped up at the 20. Ball came out. It's still loose, and I believe Furman is able to cover it back up at the 19. Chiswick fumbled it. The ball continued to bounce around. Bucks had a couple of opportunities at it, but coming up and recovering the football and really saving the day looked to be one of the backup safeties in Jack Rhodes. Without Rhodes, I think Furman would have been really in some tough spots. Zach West was right there for ETSU, but Rhodes, Johnny on the spot.
Great play by Rose, paying attention to that. That could have been a huge break for the Buccaneers.
6:55 to go. Billy Taylor, the defensive coordinator for ETSU, have anything else up his sleeve to slow down this Furman offense?
I'll tell you, Dwayne Vaughn, defensive coordinator for Furman, has done a heck of a job too.
Huff's going to throw the ball down the field. This is going to be incomplete. What a great defensive play by Huzzy. He was stepping in front of the pass intended for Harris, who's been a big target tonight. And Huzzy's able to knock it away for an incompletion. It's second down at 10.
I think Harris missed about a quarter and a half here. He's finally back out on the field. But phenomenal job by Elijah Huzzy.
Huzzy knocked it away right in midfield. Bring up second down and 10 at the 19. ETSU trying to get one more stop and get the football back. Down by 6.
I like Furman throwing the ball on first down.
Huff's going to take it. Play action. Wants to throw. Now under some pressure. He's going to run. He's going to try to pick up the first down, and he does as he's pushed out of bounds across the marker all the way up at the 34-yard line, and that's where he's so dangerous. He dropped back to pass. That was not a designed run at all, and still was able to pick up plenty of yardage.
You know, I played quarterback. What I'd give to be able to run like that, Robert. Good gracious.
It's a gain of 14. He's got out 94 yards rushing on 12 attempts.
Just that dual threat. You know, I think all college coaches love to have dual threat quarterbacks, and Furman's very fortunate to have a very good one.
Now, Huff, remember, came from Presbyterian. He was the backup quarterback there. Now, he was the starter in a couple of years previous, but only played in 4 games last year before getting hurt. They're going to turn. They're going to throw it out of the flat. That's Miller. Miller's got good yardage. He skips a tackle across the 40 and gets up to the 41-yard line. Another good gain on first down. And that Furman offense seems like when they get the first down, the initial first down mark, they're much more in rhythm under their new offensive coordinator in Justin Roper.
No question about it. Looks like the Bucks may need a turnover to stop them right now because they're rolling a little bit. You love second one. Do just about whatever you want right here.
Yeah, points would be detrimental to any type of a Bucks comeback. Furman trying to run the clock out, maybe get points at the end of this drive and kind of put the final nail in the ETSU coffin and get to 2-1 of the year.
Yep, I believe a touchdown or field goal will probably do it.
Bucks shift up front. They're going to turn. They're going to hand the ball off, and I think it's going to be good enough for a first down as they get a couple of yards to the 44. Carrying the football was Devin Abrams. Abrams has been really bottled up. He's now got 7 carries for 8 yards, but that was good enough for a couple and a first down. 20-14 your score. It's a 6-point Furman lead. Much of the first half it was 7-6. ETSU in front. Bucks plagued by turnovers in the first quarter. Had 3 of them in quarter number 1 alone.
Furman certainly not going very fast here. They'd like to make this the last drive of the ball game for them on offense.
Play clock winding into single digits. We haven't seen that much tonight. They hand it off to Abrams again. Not much there. Again, it's Timmy Dorsey leading the way. Also Chandler Martin, and coming off the ground is Jalen Porter. Those 3 all combined on the stop. A loss of 2 yards and second down at 12. And now if you're ETSU, you've got to consider in this situation timeouts quite possibly to save some clock.
Certainly if they get a first down here, they'll have to stop it on the next attempt for Furman going for a first down. They still have a little bit of time right here with a little bit over, not quite 3.5 minutes left.
Just under 4 minutes now. 7 on the play clock, 6 on the play clock. Furman may be using a timeout. They're going to try to hurry. They're going to take the snap. Now a timeout from the sidelines. Hendricks didn't like the way things were shaping up there. And so he'll use one of his remaining timeouts.
First charge,
have 2 remaining.
30 seconds, timeout.
So 3:44 to go in the fourth. Full complement of timeouts for both teams. The first used by Furman here, leading by 6. Mark, this is you would think a crucial set of downs. You're not going to get much better than 2nd and 12 defensively to try to get off the football field.
Yes, I think this particular, actually, the tip right here could be huge. Again, they get a first down right here. Now East Tennessee State probably will have to use some timeouts when it gets down to about the 2-minute mark. Furman would like to drive it on down there and possibly kick a field goal to put the game away. But, yeah, for East Tennessee State, I think they got to stop them right now. They've got 2 more downs to stop them, 2nd and 3rd down, and make Furman punt the ball and see if they can come down here and tie this ball game. Be very interesting to see what happens. I'm sure George Quarles is thinking about it, but I'd assume he would kick the extra point and tie this game. Oh, excuse me, the Buccaneers would win. They're up 20-14. I just saw that. Where have I been?
Under pressure, Huff across the middle. Pass is going to be complete. Boy, he was under some real pressure, but a nice catch to Kendall Dean, the transfer from James Madison. And it'll bring up 3rd down and manageable. About 3rd down at 6.
Wow, big play here.
Over 6 yards to go. 6.5 yards for a first down. They need to get to the Buck 45.
Huge play right here from the Buck defense and the Furman offense.
Clock rolling to 3 minutes to go in quarter number 4 in a 1-possession game. Huff scans the defense. 3rd down, they call it officially 7. Miller in motion. He's been quiet tonight. Will they try to find him now? Huff's going to step up, lowers his shoulder, and he's hammered as he crosses midfield, and he gets down about the 47-yard line. Zach West there to meet him. And it'll bring up 4th down and 2.5 yards. And now the question, do you punt him deep or do you go for it? I think they're going to punt the football.
You run this clock down and punt it.
And Huff is holding that left shoulder a little low as he tried to pick up that yardage. It's a big blow to the quarterback. Huff not a big guy either, 6'1", 208. He's not as big as some, and he took a big hit.
I tell you, he tried to get that first down, didn't he? But he got rocked.
By Weston Martin. And so now it'll be
Hope he's okay.
Huzzy back at his own 10, waiting the kick of Levy. And Levy's going to hang on to it as long as he can and then punt it. And this one is a deep kick that'll bounce and roll into the end zone. And it'll be a touchback. It's only a net of 24 yards on that punt from Levy. And ETSU set up 1st and 10 at their own 20 with 2:08 to go. Now, I will bring up the ball game last year in Greenville. Very similar situation. Yes. ETSU down, needed a touchdown to win, and it was Tyler Rydell with some heroics able to do just that.
He's going to have some time to do it, though, Robert. And so far, the last quarter and a half, Furman's up front defensive linemen and linebackers have not allowed him much time to do it.
So Tyler Rydell, he has 3 timeouts and 2:08 to go, 80 yards. Bucks down 6. Plenty of time on the play clock to get things started. He's in 11 personnel, 1 tight end, 1 running back. And Rydell will step up, fire. Look, nope. I thought he was going to throw it initially. Now he's just going to throw it out of bounds, looking for West. And it'll be incomplete. Nothing there. He had time. And unfortunately just didn't have anybody open.
Yeah, that didn't look right there. He looked a little bewildered right there, asking for the play or whatever. I think the offense is a little bit confused on that play. Not something you want to be doing here with the ball game on the line.
2:01 to go. You need a first down to get things kind of jump-started, you would think. Furman defense has just been fantastic tonight. That defensive front, they've been able to get pressure with 4 guys. You don't think they're going to have to commit any more than that on this drive. They're going to bring 5. And Rydell's going to step up, going to try to run for some yardage, and is able to pick up a yard. It'll bring 3rd down at 9. Well, it looked like he had some daylight initially, but got caught around the ankles. And a nice play by the defensive lineman, Cameron Coleman. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9 to go. Big 3rd down for the Bucks. You'd think they're in 4-down territory no matter what here.
Most likely, yeah, with this amount of time left, there's no question about that. So get part of it. But, you know, time's becoming a factor now. Even though you have the 3 timeouts, they've got a long way to go with a minute and a half left.
So 3rd down and 9, Rydell under pressure is going to throw. Looking for Huzzy, and Huzzy made a great catch. And they might be called for offensive pass interference. Huzzy pushed off to get some yardage, and it is going to be against Huzzy, against the corner in Dominic Morris. So ETSU looked like they had a first down, but Huzzy, who uses his hands to get free, did there again.
Yep, he did.
Pass interference. Offense, number 9. half the distance to the goal. Replay. Third down.
So it's going to be third down and almost 20 now for ETSU.
Yeah, you've got to get 10 or 12 or 15 out of this right now.
1:20 left. You do have all 3 timeouts, but he did. He pushed off. That's clean and very easy to see. I don't even know if he needed to do it, to be quite honest with you. But he did anyways. A good call by the official.
Very good call.
And it'll bring up a third down and 19. Bucks need to get all the way up to the 30. They have any magic left in that arm of Tyler Rydell. They're going to turn, play action, throw back to Huzzy. He dropped it. And now it'll be 4th and 19, and now they've got to punt it. With 1:07 left, you have to punt. You've got to get a 3 and out. You've got to get the football back, you would think. But the defense or the offense is not coming off the field.
No, they have. It's a minute left. You have no chance to get the ball back. I know you have 3 timeouts, maybe. But I can understand them calling this. I might call one now. Well, let's see. Can Furman run 3 and punt within a minute with the 3 timeouts? They may have a chance to stop them, but I think this is not a bad call.
So ETSU's going to throw it. 4th down and 19. They need a bunch of yardage, and it's more of a prevent defense for the Paladins. They're only going to rush really 2. Rydell's going to step up. He's going to look down the field. He has Huzzy, and it's intercepted. It'll be intercepted all the way back at the 46-yard line. I believe it was the corner in Morris, and that might have been a poor play. You should have knocked it down, you would have thought. It would have given you better position, and now ETSU, in theory, with 3 timeouts and 59 seconds remaining, could get off the field and force another punt. Again, 3 timeouts for ETSU. The interception, the 3rd of the night for Tyler Rydell, but in that case, you would have almost rather than batted the ball down.
No question.
And gotten the ball at about the 10-yard line, and that would have effectively ended the ball game.
You could run 3 plays and punt and kick a field goal if you had to. So, yeah. So, obviously, they've got to stop them right here, 3 plays. I don't know how many times you're going to get left at it. I can't do the math, Robert. You're the math guy.
You're talking about 5, 6, 7 seconds of play, depending on whether they throw it or run it. As we'll see if Furman's going to run the football. They are going to hand it off Roberto, and Dominic Roberto breaks free. Across the 30 of the 20, Furman is on their way to a Southern Conference victory as Roberto takes it in from 46 yards away, and the Paladins have now taken a 2-possession lead with under a minute to go in the 4th quarter.
I think you had to take your chance and try to make some play on defense. Somebody obviously was out of line on that defensively, and they just got worn down after that on that play right there. That's not indicative of how their defense played, no question, but a big run by Roberto, and obviously that sealed the win for the Furman Paladins.
Yeah, Furman now will just have to wait for 48 seconds to come off the clock to get to 2-1 and pick up the win of the Southern Conference opener. Lepro to attack the extra point and try to make this a 13-point game, and he does. And what a run by Roberto. ETSU's done such a great job all night against the starting backfield other than really Huff. That's the first real big break. And look at Roberto. Big guy, 231, but he didn't really get touched until right there. Price missed the tackle, and then he's off to the races as Huff, his quarterback, down there, helped throwing some blocks to spring him that final 10 yards. And now Furman looks like they're on their way to a Southern Conference 1-0 start. And you have to be impressed, Mark, as we talk about the Paladins now. The fact that offensively, this is a different-looking football team. I don't think they were overly sharp tonight.
Nope.
But Huff is certainly a difference maker. It's different than anything they've had, in my mind, in the era that is their head coach in Clay Hendricks. I mean, they've had some guys here and there, but to have someone that seems this accurate, has this type of athleticism, has this much moxie, seems very even-keeled as well. I mean,
they had a guy in the late 80s that led them to the national championship, Frankie DeBus, who was very similar, but I'd have to say that Huff runs a little better than him, and I know Frankie, he'd probably argue that
Furman.
point, but yeah.
Second charge,
Tyler Huff was the difference.
This is a 30-second timeout.
So Furman will use a timeout before the kickoff here just to make certain they're in good position. 48 seconds left, but Clay Hendricks has done a good job. He went out, got a good offensive coordinator in Justin Roper after losing George Quarles to the ETSU job, right? Roper was at Holy Cross. They did a good job of getting in Tyler Huff and really identifying that talent, because if you look at the numbers at the non-scholarship level, Huff was non-existent in 2021. There was an injury, but he also wasn't the starter in that crazy scheme that Presbyterian tried to pull a year ago. And, you know, he played some the first 3 years while he was there, but not a lot. But to be able to identify that talent and for him to be in the purple and white and in Greenville, South Carolina, not only that, but to feel so comfortable. He looks like he's been in this offense for 3 or 4 years.
No question about that. But you know what won this game for them tonight? In addition to Huff, their defense. Dwayne Vaughn had a great game plan. They substitute a bunch of players and keep on defense and keep them fresh, and it really paid off for them tonight. But give a lot of credit to their D coordinator. The guys up front at Furman on defense really controlled the line of scrimmage, especially the second half for Furman.
So 40 seconds left. ETSU still has a slight chance here, and the reason I say that, they do have 3 timeouts, but you would have to score extremely quick, get the onside kick, and somehow find a way to get in the end zone a second time.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to that crazy North Carolina-Appy State game a couple weeks ago that some of us watched.
I was going to say, at the end of the day, a lot of things can happen late in ball games.
But they won a big one today in Boone on the last play of the game. What a crazy place that is.
Tyler Rydell's going to throw one out, and that's going to be caught by Huzzy. Nope, they're going to say incomplete here on the near sideline at about the 43. So to bring up second down and 10. And it's starting to become more academic now with 32 seconds left. ETSU 4 turnovers tonight. They just can't live with that. You have to give credit to Furman for getting hands on the football. They got a couple early, one on the second play of the game. They got a field goal, one that kept ETSU out of the end zone, really kind of gave them 10-plus points because of those turnovers, as Huzzy's going to make the catch at about the 36 and fight across near the first down marker at the 38. The clock will stop for a moment with 25 seconds to go. So first down and 10 at the 39. Rydell, his clock winding down under some pressure, and he'll be slammed to the turf. Well, that defense has just been able to get pressure with minimal effort. It's Jeremiah Jackson, one of the defensive ends, who comes in with the sack, and the clock will stop. A timeout has been called by George Quarles.
You know, East Tennessee State's offensive line's got a lot of work to do. I know a lot of them play most of this game. They don't get much rest, but it's very apparent that they've got a little bit of work to do to try to keep people off Tyler Rydell and make him as effective as he can be. He can do it.
So second down and forever with 13 seconds left. Tyler Rydell, 20 of 42 tonight, 262 yards. But again, it's been Tyler Huff kind of leading the way of the defense, as you talked about, for Furman. Huff, 24 of 40. Not as accurate tonight as he's been through the first 2, but 218 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Ran for nearly 100 yards, 98 of them. He's the team's leading rusher and passer. What a shocker. He has been very, very good through the first 3 games. Furman folks in Greenville should be very happy with what they see out of their quarterback, as Anash Carter catches one across the middle and jumps out of bounds at about the 29-yard line, a gain of a couple of yards. 7 seconds left. This next play could very well be the final play of the ball game.
Most likely it is, unless it's a quick out. But you might as well just throw it up down there and see what can happen. Again, I think this is a big plus for the Furman Paladins. They're going to put themselves right in this playoff contention, towards the conference. They've got some teams to play. Obviously, Chattanooga, Mercer, Western Carolina, who scored how many today, Robert?
And Western Carolina.
60-something, 80-something.
77 against Presbyterian. Yep, and they picked up the win. So the final score here from Johnson City, Tennessee. Furman 27 and ETSU 14. A pretty spectacular effort from the Purple Paladins and their starting quarterback, Tyler Huff. Huff finishing with over 200 yards passing and a couple of touchdowns. Ran for 98 more on the night. For ETSU, Tyler Rydell, a losing effort, 263 yards, 2 touchdowns, but did throw the 3 interceptions. For Mark Hutzel, I'm Robert Harper saying final score from Johnson City, Tennessee. Furman 27, ETSU 14. This has been a presentation of the Southern Conference Football on ESPN.